should lead me down this road, and I know where to go. To find my travels as you can.
As usual, define those travels as you can. What's going on, everybody? Hello, everyone in the wonderful goggling community. What's going on, Gogletites, Goglings, Gog peoples? I hope everybody is doing well. Welcome to episode 92 of Pen and Pixels, and I'm your host, Arvin Elron. This is a story and narrative-based show that we do every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern until 7 p.m. Eastern, where we play through various story and narrative-based games of different types and descriptions and all that sort of thing. And we're going to be doing the same thing today as we conclude, finally, Torment, Tides of Numenera. I have really enjoyed this game a lot. I've gotten a lot out of it, but it is... I'm looking forward to moving on. I feel kind of bad, actually, that poor, some of the folks around here have had. I didn't mean the show to be something that was going to be like one game for a ton of time, because that's, wasn't exactly what I planned to do. But we are almost done with it. I really enjoyed this game a lot. And next up after this is going to be, oh my God. So you didn't save it? Oh no, Outstar. Oh man. See, what Outstar doesn't realize is that's part of the meta of the game. Part of the meta is your inability to save, and so it's even darker than she thought. Now you don't have so much nostalgia for 1985 save protocols, do you? No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry that happened, Outstar. But anyway, so I'm looking forward to playing today and finishing up with Torment, which I've really enjoyed. Next up for me is going to be Star Trek Judgment Rights, which is going back to my roots, actually, because episode 1 that I did well over a year ago at this point, I'm actually closing in on 2 years on this channel. It just struck me because I think I started streaming, for GOG in October of 2015, something like that. So wow, I'm closing in pretty soon on having streamed here for 2 years. That's hard to believe. Anyway, I will be streaming. First one I ever streamed was Star Trek 25th Anniversary. So I'll be streaming Star Trek Judgment Rights, which is going to be cool. So I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be a good time. And so yeah, if you haven't done so already, please follow this channel. Of course, please make sure you sub to the channel. It benefits all of the streamers here, and you get awesome emotes that you can use. And those emotes all done by our fearless leader, Outstar Walker, who is currently mourning the loss of her saved game. But yeah, you can check out the emotes if you're able to sub to us. And please check us out on our individual channels as well, where we have Patreons and subs and all that kind of good stuff. The other thing I want to say very quickly, and let me just get rid of this, and then we will get underway. So let's get rid of, where's my webcam? Show it to me. There we go. Hi, everybody. Good to see you all. I hope everyone is well. I can now put, I think I can put Twitch chat on here somewhere. Where's my Twitch chat at? I know I've got you here. Pro streamer here. There we go. So yes, one thing I just want to quickly mention to everybody is just a quick note, if I may, for the folks who are suffering in Houston, Texas. This is going to be a disaster of unimaginable proportions. This looks ultimately like the amount of disruption that this is going to cause over a massive area where there are storms being generated as much as 800 miles away from the sort of immediate locality of the event. This is the kind of new normal. This is what we're dealing with climate change and everything else, and I don't want to get into any of that except to say that for the people who are suffering there, my thoughts have been with you. And so I haven't had a chance to talk about this on this stream on GOG, but if you have not done so, if you do have the ability, and not everyone does, but if you do have the ability to be able to support the folks that are suffering down there, I know it would be appreciated for them to be able to do so. In fact, what I've been asking people to do is, if you would normally sub or to me or support my Patreon or whatever the case would be, if you've got a choice to make, like I only have so much disposable income I can do something with, consider supporting that instead, because they need it much more than we do. It's sort of staggering what I've seen coming in over the last few days. So for any of you who happen to be in the affected area or near the affected area, we are thinking about you. And for those of you who aren't, empathy is an important thing for all of us to practice, I think. And it's something which has been very much on my mind over the last couple of days. So I did want to say thoughts and prayers are with them. And I hope that if possible, we can try to support them over what is going to be a very, very months, years long haul to try to, start recovering from this when it is finally over. So with that said, we are playing games here though, and so I'm going to leave that behind and move on to Torment as we are finishing up with this game. Again, I've had a great time with this, and I think I'm going to be able to get through with this. I can go a little bit longer if I have to, because the next person up isn't until tomorrow. Miss Psyche is going to be playing Neverwinter Nights, so I have a little bit of extra time if I need it, but hopefully we'll be able to get through it pretty quickly. And yes, I did want to say, yes, X5's Whisper. I had not forgotten X5. I did not forget. X5 did one of his epic introductions, which he's been doing for me on my channel and a lot of streamers, actually. And so, give me a second. Why is it doing that? There we go. Had to find it on my phone. So, here we go. Define those moments. The final confrontation is at hand. The torment has tormented our vanilla on us goglings for far long enough. Geez, I hope not. Tonight is the night we shall conquer the tides of Numenera and set ourselves free. By the guidance of Yellowwood and the road, we have traveled far. Journey is at its end. Torture is at an end. And after a week of relaxation, we will travel to the infinite beyond where no one has gone before, to the rights of judgment on board USS Enterprise. But now let us rejoice and conclude the torment, and pray, hope, and bear faith for the good folks in the western U.S., the southern U.S. basically, but whom have suffered and still suffers at the hands of Hurricane Harvey and his foul aftermath. We have all seen torment, but we are one planet, one true race, and we will survive if we fight it together. Twitch Unity Heart. Well said, X5. I agree entirely, and thank you as always. These are really cool introductions, so thank you. I appreciate it. That's well said. Okay, with that said, let's move over to the stream. Let's get it going. Alrighty. Where's my Twitch chat at? All right, give me 1 second. Nope, never mind that. You didn't see any of that. There we go. Sorry, folks. I thought I had my Twitch chat sort of up and running, but not quite. Make sure not to pay scam charities is definitely true. The best people to support actually are the ones that have been around for a long time. So one good example of that, there we go. One good example of that is the Red Cross. The Red Cross has been around forever, and the Red Cross is down there in force, and they are ones who will be helping with disaster efforts. There will be a number of local charities that will be good as well, and other national ones, but there's no question that the Red Cross is going to do a lot of good down there, so that will be one place that you can feel pretty comfortable supporting if you're able to do that. Okay, with that said, music. Let's do it. Okay. So we have gotten pretty much all of the side quests and everything else done down here. I think the only thing we had left to do is basically go talk to the Memavira and move on with the main event, as it were. So let's do that. Check out my journal. I don't care about that. And that quest right there is just broken. I've already found the missing patrols, and that one is just broken. So that's the deal. I don't know whether you're able to link it or not without a permit on this channel. I don't remember, Marzian, but one of the mods can certainly do that, assuming that it's related to the subject of supporting the folks down there or something game related, I'm guessing. Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
Like a whisper.
All right. Ready to see the Memavara now. Follow me. Let's do it. So, the hero returns. Hey, it's the first cast off. Let's see. Impressive. Even with everything I'd heard you had done, I did not actually think you would succeed. I underestimated him twice now. It will not happen again. I did everything I could to honor our deal. You are as helpful as I had heard. You should be careful. Not everyone you meet is worth helping. Now for the information I promised you. Could he actually be on my side? No, I mustn't assume anything. This scan thoughts thing has been so useful the whole game. I am the first cast-off. I have kept myself hidden for a century and more, watching, waiting, letting our damned sire execute his twisted plans, thinking he had the upper hand. But we have plans of our own. Hey, cast-offs. You can't place all their faces, but you immediately recognize Paj Reckon. Our sire thought to use the resonance chamber to subsume us, but I have learned it can stop the sorrow in another way. It is the door to our freedom, and you have returned to me my key. Then the Memavira, the first, makes a sweeping gesture toward Madoff behind her. The flip? It's like the thing out of the abyss. As you can see, my agents have retrieved the resonance chamber from the reef. With Mazoff returned, we can use the chamber to sever the tidal connection that draws the sorrow to us like a war moth. Then we will be free forever. From the sorrow, from having to hide in Miel Avest or this wretched bloom, from all of our sire's stratagems. We will finally be ourselves. Tosh. Impossible. Has my mind failed me again? Now that she says its name, it's obvious. This is the man whose body you inhabited in Matkina's Marecaster so long ago. His only reply is a leering grin. You're dead. I killed you. Didn't I? That's certainly what you remember. Our freedom is finally at hand, thanks to you. I have no doubt you have questions. From what I hear, you always have questions. You may ask them while Mazoff finishes his work. Ironic that the one he meant to snuff us out is now our savior. Maybe I won't have to kill him. Why would you have to kill me? How do you... You are more clever than my information suggests. Though perhaps not if you have not yet divined why I would have to kill you. You are his key. The catalyst he created to activate the chamber. That's not Darkwood, yeah. Yeah, a little bit, Duskalti, but the truth is, for a large organization that deals with this stuff, that you send money to them and it's gonna, you know what I mean? That's gonna make a big difference. So, yeah, I definitely, Ravelon, switched the game in the dashboard and everything else. So this is Torment now. The Darkwood stream is over. So I did fix it in dashboard. He would use it to subsume us all into himself. To kill us, do you understand? I've been trying to stop that from happening ever since I learned what our sire's true plans were. Then when you spoke to Mazoff and Ossifagan, using poor Zarian's body, I knew he was close. I knew where you would appear, but not when. I've been watching Miel Avest ever since, waiting for you. When you escaped the sanctuary, I panicked. Years of planning undone. But then you came here to me. The trip to the heart was a fool's errand, you know. Whether you succeeded or not, I would have what I need. Either you'd be dead and our sire's plans with you, or else I'd have Mazoff back to enact my own plans, and our sire's plans would no longer matter. How was Mazoff taken from you? The bloom turned on me without warning, or perhaps there were signs I missed. It devoured a large chunk of the fortress, and Mazoff's workshop with it. I've endeavored to keep it out ever since, but it was too late. Mazoff was gone. He's lucky it was me the bloom wanted, else he would have been devoured immediately. How long have you been hiding here? A decade? More? I rescued Mazoff from the Jibra after our sire abandoned him. The bloom's hatred of the sorrow and its power to keep it at bay was known to me, so we came here in disguise. But you betrayed the old Memavira. Why take over if you only came here to hide? He was weak, and I needed his resources. I had to find the resonance chamber before our sire could activate it. Controlling the power of the bloom was a nice bonus. Now the bloom has turned against me, though, but it won't matter soon. Why didn't you just tell me you were the first from the beginning? Frankly, I don't trust you. There were certain voices in your head. I can't know what side you're really on, so it was safer to use you instead. Voices in my head? In my head? What are you talking about? I can't tell if you're being coy or stupid. I've known the changing god was in your mind since you spoke to Mazoff and Ossifagan. I was there. I am the Chimera. With the changing god alive, all my plans and all of our lives were in jeopardy. Rest assured, I will do anything to stop him. We need to talk about the chamber. Of course we do. Very well. What do you want to know? Why can't your curiosity live without? I thought my body was the catalyst to the chamber. It is. The changing god created your body specifically to activate the chamber, to channel its powers. We discovered you had become a cast-off when you spoke to Mazoff through Zarian Daywalker. Your body was designed to control the tidal connection between us. But of course, our sire doesn't want to sever that connection. He wants to use it to draw all cast-offs back into himself, snuffing us out. I won't let that happen, so Mazov has reconfigured the chamber to work with any cast-off. Can my body still activate the chamber then? Of course it can. Mazov has repaired the machine, not broken it further. But rest assured, if you go anywhere near that chamber, I will kill you myself. I've learned that in activating the chamber, it can be used to weaken the sorrow. Is that true? Perhaps. But what would that accomplish? The sorrow has been weakened many times, yet it does not die. I will not risk our lives like that. Severing the tidal connections between us is our only hope of stopping the sorrow and surviving. Is there any other way to stop the sorrow? There is one other way. Our sire's way. Suck every living cast-off back into a single body. But what good is that? No. The only way to stop the sorrow is to remove what it seeks. It hunts us because our bodies abuse the tides. In severing the connection, that abuse will end. Our sire didn't know what he was doing when he made our bodies. The sorrow is the consequence, but I will undo his mistakes. Let's see. Your plan will kill the cast-offs, not free them. We need the connection in order to live. What a ridiculous conjecture. Where did you hear that? Let's see. Our sire learned it from a Jibra cast-off named Tom. Tom said both our sire's plans and yours would kill us all. Thom. No. Tom is mistaken. What could he know about the details of my plan? What's up, Ambrosine? Hello, Kilobyte. Could Tom have... No. It's a lie. Tom doesn't know half of what I do about the labyrinth. The sorrow tracks us with the tides. In severing the tidal connection between us, the labyrinth, our sire called it, we will no longer be connected to the tides. We will no longer abuse them, and the sorrow will stop its hunt. We will be free. It must be done. I'm going to ask you about something else. Should use the chamber to weaken the sorrow. Might be able to kill it. That sounds sketchy. Killing the cast-offs? No. I feel like this has been getting said. Yeah, exactly, Servo. I feel like this has almost been building to the beginning. The answer is to absorb it into myself, to keep the consciousness in my mind. I want to activate the chamber, merging all cast-off consciousness into myself. Did you think I brought these cast-offs out here to boast? We'll kill you before you get near that chamber. The only reason I haven't yet is because I'm optimistic. I hope you're smarter than that. Your plan will kill the cast-offs. I won't let that happen. Try and stop me. I was always going to have to kill you anyway. Think about it first. There's nothing to think about, fool. In a matter of moments, Mazov will have the chamber activated and it will be over. But fine. Think. Keep him away from the chamber. Paint the walls with his blood. With his blood. Okay, so what I need to do is get to the chamber. Ow. This is gonna be rough. Yeah, thanks. I'd have kind of preferred if they didn't all go first.
Surrounded on all sides.
Level up, and I can't do anything about it. Understandably, but still. Alright, so... talk. You're with him? After what he did to me, I'm not sure I have anything to say to you. The first plan will kill him and all the cast-offs. Oh, Jesus. You suck. You accomplished nothing. I need to talk to these people. Here's the best thing you can do. Get the hell out of Dodge.
Am I hidden yet? No?
Yeah, that's what exactly what I'm trying to do, Disculty, yeah.
Here comes the boredom slayer.
Oh! Okay, that sucked a lot.
Barely hurting it.
Alright.
Good. I'm ready.
Do not want this to miss. Let's go, Tosh. Yes, Metkina, but I don't want Metkina to talk to him because I don't think that's going to go well. You really believe that, don't you? She's always done what's necessary, too. Even slaughtering cast-offs. I believe you. I'll help you stop her, Clarice. I don't suppose I can talk to the first cast-off, can I? No, I can't. Alright, well, the good news is we've got some balefire, so let's go right there. Okay. Let's get some armor up here. Iritis is not likely to last. It's the only problem with using him is that he just doesn't... It's just not likely to work. Do I want the hook? Get over here, please. I need to talk to you. Hello, Butt Spikes. I kind of didn't want you to... Oh, Balefire, don't... Kind of wanted you to attack the first cast-off. I wish I could control them. Alright. I don't want to talk to you, Metkina. I want to talk to her sibling. God damn it. Fine, then. Warp dash then. You don't want that to miss.
A little surprise for you. I can barely scratch this thing.
That's so. That will help.
That's more like it.
Ow. Damn! That Balefire took a lot of damage. Yeah, I figured. Okay. Alright, Iritis. What can I... Wow, you did a lot of damage to the first cast-off. Let's get there. Okay. Let's talk, Paj Rockin. You're like an insect. You'll survive anything when something like a dearest... But we've got you where you want you. Now we'll stop the coward's plan for good. You know I wasn't responsible for Adirus' death. Do you really want to be on the side that was responsible? I have served Marilo faithfully for centuries, but she's grown too arrogant, too full of herself. She doesn't remember what it means to love anyone, and I believe she would sacrifice all of us to win this gambit. I am on your side. Do not disappoint me. Oh, I won't. Okay, I gotta talk to... I gotta talk to her. Can I heal Eritis? Because that would be really useful.
I'm ready for whatever comes.
Wasn't that impressive? Alright, let's see. Oh, out of range? Alright, well, you know who's not out of range? Matkina. Don't miss. We'll keep her down. Don't know what would, in fact. She's dead. So, we need to get the last cast-off up there, I assume. Stop attacking that guy. I kind of want him around. Sort of. I want to wait for... I'm worried that if I don't try to get... No. Yeah, I'm worried that if I go... This is what I'm worried about. I don't want to kill Zarian off. In fact, I don't want to kill Mazov off either. I have a feeling I'm going to need Mazov. So... Alright. Lines inside this brush metal disc seem to be circuits or channels for pulsing transdimensional energy. Might be possible to reverse these channels, allowing you to teleport yourself to the top of the stairs. The thing is, I don't want her teleported. Oh, God.
What was that? I feel terrible.
Oh, crap. I don't even know where the hell Barricale is. I really have nothing for you to do, Eritis, except to maybe try to not die. But other than that, I really have nothing for you to do. I need the first cast off, is what I need. Dude, how much movement does that thing have?
Yes.
There we go. Okay. Get back! I've put a neural lock in the chamber. It won't work for anyone but me. Remind Mazov he knows the resonance chamber better than anyone. Surely he knows the first plan will kill all the cast-offs. Search your feelings. You know it to be true. Yeah, and I got all of it back. Critical success. Nice. That's ridiculous. We're just severing the tidal connections. The thing that draws the sorrow to us in the first place. How could that possibly... Skist. Skist, you might be right. Even if you're not, that's a heavy chance to take. I'll remove the neural lock. You should be able to activate the chamber yourself. This thing's been nothing but trouble since our sires started it. I wish it had never been built. Well, at least you have something to fight.
I barely heard it. Try something else.
That balefire is so useful.
Look out, villains! Trouble coming your way.
Actually, Darius, I don't really care if you die. You know, you're useless anyway. Okay.
This isn't right.
So, what happens if I get just the last cast off out? What happens then?
Let's go.
That's going to leave a scar. Fantastic. Oh, that's much better. Just like that.
Alright, survive the Sorrow's attack long enough for the Resonance Chamber to charge. Tremendous power courses through your body, building in wave upon wave. The Resonance Chamber is not even fully activated, yet you feel as though you could take on the Sorrow by yourself. None too soon, either. As reality comes back into focus, you sense something has changed. The Sorrow is breaking into the fortress. The power of the chamber might protect you, but not the others. You'll have to help them survive until the chamber can fully charge. Oh, good God.
To action.
Get up there.
I'm at least 6 times better than I was seconds ago.
The guy I'm worried about is Alagern. Alagern.
All right. Ready to take on the world.
Nice. Okay. All right. So, there we go. Let's get us some armor here, please.
I'm ready for whatever comes.
All right. Go down there, Balefire. Do your job. Do your job, Balefire. All right. What else do I have here? Gotta wait on that. Hey, what's up, Hilness? Better wait up on that. Ooh, nice range on that. How you doing, Hilness? Sorrow Fragment, charge up.
By the Black Three.
That's why I wanted to get up there before that hobbling thing started to happen, because the hobbling thing is not fun. Yeah, this is getting... Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Except for, if I can hit any of them from a distance, but I don't think I can. Like this, for instance. Doesn't have long enough range. Okay. Everybody is up at maximum. That's Paj. Yeah, it doesn't look like I can... Alright, doesn't look like I have anything valuable here, so... Skip, skip, and skip. Let us hide, shall we? Okay. Corpuscular maw, corpuscular maw. Oh my god. There are a lot of maws here, people.
By the Black Three.
Oh my god, he just... What? That was awesome. And also bizarre. You just skip your turn, Rightus. Not sure why you would run right into the maw. You have a crossbow. You might want to do that from a distance, but whatever. Not sure how much longer the other... Oh, I was just about to say... Oh, Paj got knocked down, but is not dead yet. Well... Wow. There is a lot of sorrow stuff going on here. Oh, damn. Here comes the big kahuna. Here is the sorrow. Here's the sorrow themselves. Yep. It's the second time I've seen that thing.
There we go.
Didn't like it the first time I saw it either.
I feel like I've been rolled and tongue.
We're like standing right next to the portal. It's like they're hobbled, but I'm like, that's why we're standing here. Reminds me of my mom. Oh, man. Oh, I have another one of the animate balefires. Okay. Here, go down there and fight him up. Mess him up, Balefire. I'm sure you'll last for about a turn. Let's see. I think adaptation. It's the last one of those I think I've got. Alright. I have no idea what I'm even looking at right now. Tosh is still alive somehow. Alright, Balefire. Go, go, Gadget Balefire. Paj is in big trouble. Yep. I love that it doesn't even... I wonder if they actually calculate that number. 4,728.6 billion, whatever the hell. Like... Oh, man. Well, that's it for Paj. Kind of was hoping she would absorb one more attack from the sorrow.
Something new is wrong with me.
Something new is wrong with me? Oh, okay, that's a good call. I'll try that. Okay. For a minute, I'm like, why am I down there exactly?
Of course.
All right.
I'm at least 6 times better than I was seconds ago.
Okay. Never mind. Okay, Allegern.
Here we go then.
Into the light! I mean, I'm hanging in there. This is definitely being tormented, though. No question about that. This looks really bad. I'm just waiting. I'm trying to survive long enough for this chamber to charge. And I'm like just trying to basically get myself...
I'll handle it.
Alright, I'm as far into the passageway as I can get, pretty much, I think. Oh god. Hurry the hell up, chamber!
By the Black Three.
The sorrow has built up an alarming amount of power. It turns its attention to the resonance chamber. Suddenly the chamber explodes in shafts of light, touching everyone and everything in the fortress. It is activated at last. But it doesn't feel like you expected. An intense pain explodes in your skull and a wrenching tug in your gut. The chamber is pulling you inside it, forcibly ripping your mind from your body. Oh, great. And if the screams are any indication, you aren't the only one. That was pretty mint, actually. Guys, like, rising up the stairs. Oh, God! Oh, yeah? Oh, I hear that, X5. It takes a while.
Learn something new.
Broken Hearts. That quest failed. The Broken Hearts thing is one thing. The other quest failed. See, that's garbage. I did not fail Rumblings of Discontent. I already... That was just broken. That's annoying. The familiar figure of the ghostly woman looks around her, seemingly even more confused than when you first encountered her here in your mind. Her eyebrows rise high in some sudden realization. It is begun. I thought you were a memory or a copy. Why are you here? I think I am more than that. I don't know what, fully, but memories are beginning to surface. Far more than before. I'm not certain all of them are mine, though. Which memories are mine? I can't even tell that much. You're a cast-off. A spark of life left over when your body was otherwise abandoned. They're all here. The spark, the consciousness of every living cast-off is here now in the labyrinth. They were drawn here by the resonance chamber. I thought the chamber would merge all the cast-offs into a body, not the labyrinth. The chamber was just a lever. The minds of the cast-offs can still be merged into a single body, but not by flipping some switch in the real world. Your fate and that of your siblings will be decided here, in the labyrinth that connects you all. That has always connected you. There is a place called the Resonance, a door in the deepest fathoms. The resonance lies through there. You must find it. Your body is the key. Open it, enter it, then you can stop the sorrow and be free.
I'll remember that.
He's already there. The changing god has broken through the doorstep of the Resonance. Oh, God damn it. He'll have to force the door open, though. You have time to reach him, to stop him, but not much time. How do you know all of this? I'm still asking myself that. When you and your siblings were drawn into this place, pieces of their memories filled gaps in mine. I know what happened to bring you here. I understand what is happening now, and I know where the changing god is, and what he plans to do. And yet there is so much I don't know. Who am I? Why do I know all of this and you don't? I feel like I know the labyrinth. Why does it feel like this labyrinth was created for me? Does this mean that activating the chamber did nothing at all? Not nothing. You activated the chamber, and so have a greater power here than others. More clarity and control. If all living cast-offs were drawn to this place, then where are they? They are lost. The chamber drew in their minds and then trapped them, each one within an illusion made from their fears and regrets. I can feel them now. Her eyes, their pain, their torment. They don't realize where they are and they cannot escape. Not on their own. If everyone is trapped in an illusion, why aren't I? Because you are the last cast-off. Every cast-off who has met you tells me the same things. You are the latest version. Your body was designed for this. Did you never wonder why you could remember and control the labyrinth when no other cast-off could before? Why has everything changed? All the doors and portals are different from before. The labyrinth is a dreamscape shared by the changing god and all his cast-offs. Its shape is defined by your minds. All of your minds. I think the sudden influx of hundreds of cast-offs, each with their own lives and memories, has made the labyrinth unpredictable, causing even more change as they move through it. As to where these other portals go, I don't know. I only know that that one over there leads down to the resonance. That is the way you must ultimately go, if you were to stop the changing god. Where are my companions? Are they still in the real world? Are they dead? They are here, or their consciousnesses are at any rate. They are bonded to you somehow. When you were drawn to the labyrinth, so were they. They are being held, just like all the other cast-offs.
Making a note.
You can save them if you can find them. But know that in doing so, you will give the changing god the time he needs to get closer to his goal. And I still gotta save him. Tell me how to stop the Spectre again. You will find him in the lowest depths of the labyrinth, on the doorstep of the resonance. He is forcing his way in even now. If you don't hurry, he will succeed. I'll try to stop him. Farewell. Wait. There is one more thing. The labyrinth has become a volatile thing. Everything is changing. Even now I can feel the portal that leads to the resonance trying to close. Make sure you have everything you need before you descend, for once you start, you may not be able to return here at all. Good luck. Okay, yeah, that's definitely what that's good, because I really wanted to do that, because I wanted to save my companions. That's good. I'm glad. First, though, I level up. Let's see. I think that's going to be more useful. All right. So, let's save it first of all.
Yes. Now.
Whoa. I found you. Where have I found you? It's Rin. Holy crap, that's Rin? The woman strides toward you, all confidence and grace. She has none of the fear and awkwardness you remember. And yet the eyes are still Rin's. Does that mean she joins me and I can get rid of Veritas? Yes! The fear is gone, but the bright spark of innocence and joy is still there. Brighter even. She squeezes your shoulder with a firm hand.
Damn, you haven't changed at all. You're exactly like I remember you. I mean, warmth and welcome on your road, stranger.
Rin? That's really cool. Yes. Yes, it's me. You're still carrying Teria, aren't you? The god of finding I gave you, remember? God's about. I can't believe he was strong enough. I was just a kid when I made him, and it doesn't look like you've aged up much at all. But where in my mind? Your god helped you find me here? He's a more powerful god than either of us knew. I can't take credit, though. I hardly knew what I was doing. I just knew I wanted to see you again. Teria is what came of it. It's good to see you again, Rin. It's good to see you too, old friend. I think about you all the time. I came because Teria called me back. He's under the impression that you need my help. I'd say he might be right. Where are we, anyway? The resonance chamber was activated. It trapped me and all the other cast-offs here in the labyrinth. That sounds terrible. No wonder Teria called me. Well, I'm here to help if you need me. I do need you, and I'm glad you're here. Hell yeah. Of course, old friend. Come on. Yeah! Rin is back, people. Rin is back. Okay. But I've got her arbalest. Cannot be unequipped. Oh, so I can't... Alright. Let me see if I can give her... Can I give her anything, though? I should be able to give her... I don't know what I have left over to give her, though. She's a badass with a crossbow to boot. Nice. I don't think I have any, like, shields or anything. Alright, well. You're gonna have to do it on your lonesome, then. Okay. That's pretty awesome. There's our Taglio. Alright. Let's meet up with some of these people, shall we? No! Leave me alone, you vultures! As you step closer, you catch shades, flickers in the corner of your eye of what she's seeing. Luxurious fabrics, marvelous oddities, and expensive-looking devices of all kinds are arrayed around her like a hoard, and several shadows are taking it all away from her. She tries to grab her treasures before they can be stolen, but her hands flap through them like mist. Please! I can pay you back, just give me more time! Whatever you've lost, you still have your life. You can get the other stuff back. Of course, you're right. Do you hear him? Take it all, you leeches. I earned it all once. I will earn it again. Little brother? What a nightmare. My business had gone bankrupt. Everything was being taken from me. I'm not ashamed to admit it's my greatest fear. Thank you for saving me from that. I feel like I've been given a second life. Where are we? What devilry has landed us here? We're in my mind. Our sire's resonance chamber drew us here. Is that so? A mental landscape, perhaps. And you and I were able to dismiss those visions with mere belief. I wonder if... Ha! I love this item. I import them from Haref, you know. They do nothing except add to decor, but I can sell them for far more than most oddities. It would seem this place lets me do more than shoo away shadows, yes? Can you produce anything you want in here? It's not anything, it would appear, but some things. I can't say I understand the methodology behind it. Related to my businesses, perhaps? I wonder. Can you make something that would help me in here? Let's see, shall we? Take what you like. Ooh, okay, what do we got here? The Cacophony Blade. Okay, that sounds pretty badass. That'll be good for Allegern. The Petronel. That seems pretty useful.
Good balance.
The Temporal Hammer also sounds pretty badass. Sapient Blade? What is all this stuff?
These ciphers are killing me.
Okay. There we go. Lovely. Alright, let's talk to our Taglio next. Oh, wait, whoa, wait. I need to ask her one other thing. She could do something. Alright. She could do something to help me rest. Why not, little brother? I run several hostelries and roadhouses in the real world. Perhaps it's enough as if You aren't sleeping, but a warm calm floods your body, rejuvenating you as though you had slept in the finest inn in the Sagus Protectorate.
That's the stuff.
Nice, okay. That will be useful. Alright, Artaglio. The hazy form of Artaglio, the captain of the Irregulars, stands here. He's staring around the calm as if trying to place what he's doing here. I suppose this is immortality of a sort, eh, Castoff? Share a drink. A bottle forms in his hand. He passes it to you and you share its contents. A wave of tipsy contentment washes over you and you feel your body's muscles subtly adjusting to the memories and experiences Artaglio's reflection offers. Artaglio's cunning. What a place you have here, Castoff. Do all of you have one of these in your heads? I'm hearing all kinds of whispers, you know. Like, there's more in here than we can see. How are things here, Artaglio? It's better than being in the bloom, I suppose. Happy to be here. Okay. Good. So I have that. I want to check these quickly, though. Alright. I think I did that. Okay, right.
All right.
Did that already.
Here we go.
Alright. So we're going to talk to this lady, the empty reflection, then Inaffair.
Go.
I want to title surge it because I think that actually hurts her in some way. I don't remember how, but it's not good. I would speak with you in affair. Okay, right, I spoke to him already. Okay, good. So, wonderful. Alright, let's get down here. So we have to get the companions back. To Oasis Fathom, to Village Fathom, to Crefton Fathom. So you have to get the companions back. And then we can deal with the resonance. Okay. Let's start with this up here. Dim, sickly lights flicker underneath the surface of this massive carapace. Yeah, big boss. Pretty close. Whatever is buried underneath here is never getting out. We're pretty close. I mean, I'm planning to finish it tonight, like before the end of the session, one way or the other. Someone has created a makeshift lean-to from pieces they found around here. A sharp lemony scent pervades the air here. Every few minutes, a whiff of decaying flesh gusts forth before the lemon scent returns, and several small animals chitter somewhere beneath the detritus. Who the hell are you? The slaver Tol Magor is here, her arms flailing across her body. Oh, this is one of the cast-offs. Shades of her tide-addicted compatriots flicker around her, substanceless specters who radiate a burning, ephemeral need. Her hands pass through them, and each time she looks as if she's going to vomit. Her feet are buried in the ground. She cannot move. You feel the tides coil within you, perhaps as a response to the hungry ghosts that surround Tol. I know these shades. I killed them, but accidentally. I'm not a killer. I'm not. Tol, is that you? What is happening to you? I thought I heard something. A bird. Those ghosts, I know them. They were people addicted to what she did to them. Without me around to temper her power, she'd kill them. We should help her if we can. She was terrible to me, I know, but she needed me as well. I'm not condoning what she did. I want to forgive her. Shades aren't real. To break her neck. You can free yourself. Free yourself, and the rest will follow. She struggles and screams against the need of her erstwhile minions, but somehow your words penetrate the barrier of her fear. She opens her eyes and sees you. She reaches out a hand to you and a spark of energy flashes between your fingertips. With it, awareness comes to her eyes. Is that my little bird? The shades fade away from her and around her, and she mouths silent gratitude. She rests her weary head on the floor of the labyrinth and sinks into the ground, leaving no trace behind. Interesting. I'm curious what it just changed to. Oh, dominant tide, gold. Empathy, compassion, and sacrifice. It's been kind of between that and blue. So, it's interesting.
Go.
There's Aritis. Pile of debris rises and falls almost imperceptibly in regular intervals as if something were breathing underneath it, though certainly nothing could live under there. These shifting, roiling infinities belie the reality of the mounds of junk. This is a place of memories, nothing more. Alright. This thing. As far as you can tell, this Philethus looks exactly the same as the one you met before. Perhaps is the same. As you approach, its hidden body seems to draw a deep breath, but nothing emerges. No words, no noise, no exhalation at all. Its glass mask seems fixed upon you, but it just as easily could be sleeping within. The thing just stands there as if indifferent until suddenly it speaks. How many motes of light spilled upon the ground before you moved the basin? A few. No. The Yol calf gets sour milk from its mother's teat. Those that seek sweeter suckling waste away but never weep. The Yol herder spills salt tears, but the earth thirsts without tasting. Did you drink the light? I'm trying to remember if I drank the light or not. I think I did. No. You will burn in the light. Ask. What is the question? Now you understand. Got it. Oh, man. That thing, you know what? Dealing with the Philethus was honestly like me playing chess. Because whenever I play chess, I always feel like whenever I do the move that seems probably the dumbest and the stuff that seems like farthest apart from what someone logically would do, that's the move where the person's like, the other person is like, you know, and then they spend like 20 minutes being like, like that's the move that throws them off. That's always what it's a little bit like what this is. It's really just a matter of being a contrarian, honestly.
I'm going.
Hey, stranger, what do you need?
Sort of. No, not Rin.
Yes.
All right, Aritis. Aritis stands, fists clenched and knuckles white at the center of his aura, his golden cloud. It takes you a moment to realize what's different here. I mean, I'm, you know, I've just never been as interested in chess. There's only so far my mind can hold abstract strategy. So I've always been more of a backgammon guy than a chess guy, but my father loved chess. Yeah. Giga Pie-Man LSD, Mega Pie-Man. I would love the idea that you guys would meet in some connection. Mega Pie-Man. Giga Pie-Man. He is in a hollow place within the glow, though it is reaching for him with hooked tendrils and jagged spines. For some reason, Aritis is holding his aura at bay. You can't help noticing he looks older than he did before and exhausted as well. Let me help you. It's too late. I'm burning out. You should have found me sooner, when I was strong enough to fight them still, when there was still time to reason with them. Aritis.
I'll remember that.
Oh, Aritis. I'm so sorry. What? I don't need apologies. I don't even know what you're apologizing for. Come to think of it, I'm not even sure who you are. Wait in the calm for now. I'll come for you if I need you. Goodbye, Aritis. I never cared about you.
Yes.
Wrapped around an aging stone pillar is a plated creature unlike anything you've ever seen. It hisses at the air, but its eyes, rows of them like a spider's, are fixed on you, glittering. It's just a statue, but your body trembles to look at it. It wants something. Something more. Yeah, Terrapie, man. Something more than just flesh. More than just flesh. There's a strong feeling of malevolent intelligence surrounding this statue that you can't explain. Even more worrying, however, is the sense of familiarity you get while looking at it. The creature doesn't fit any kind of classification in the Ninth World, and it appears too intelligent to be one of the created Numenera. This thing is a visitant from some more distant world, or possibly another reality altogether. Exactly, lads. Who are you? Who? Ah, who the heck are you? Except they don't say heck. Let's try to figure this out. I figured it out. Several memories strike you all at once. Not memories of your own past life, but those of your siblings. You see yourself prostrate before a creature exactly like the statue, but larger and more menacing. You're in tears, terrified. The creature stretches out a claw, and some invisible force crushes your chest. A flash. Light from the creature's many eyes sears through your retina into your brain. You fall on the floor, aware but unable to move. In another memory, you storm through a burning village in search of some artifact. The memory races forward, and you present that artifact to the creature. Another flash. You are kneeling before the creature. It speaks in your mind. Rise, my servant. Today you are no longer cast off. You are Dracogen, and you will henceforth speak in my name and carry out my will in this world. The memories flee. You're left trembling. This thing is Dracogen. The real Dracogen, not the man. It uses mortals for its own inscrutable ends, even as mouthpieces, as it did with the Dracogen you met in the Bloom. Several cast-offs have crossed it over the centuries. The creature finds the immortality and greed of your siblings useful, and their disregard for mortal lives convenient. This statue was constructed from their memories. One of them even served as a Dracogen long ago. The eyes remain fixed at the space you were standing before. Perhaps you just happened to notice them when you were standing in the right. With slow and deliberate care, the eyes swivel in their stone sockets and fix on you again. Let's feel the surface. You reach out to touch the scaled surface. The statue doesn't move, and you hear nothing beyond the sound of your breath, and yet you feel something watching you from beyond this place. I'm Jean Valjean. A sudden heat bakes the palm of your hand. Something tells you that touching the statue is a bad idea. Nope, I'm going to disagree this time. Aha. Examine the statue again. Flashes of memory do not repeat, but you know now this is a statue of the true Dracogen. Okay. Five armor, 5 resistance, huh? That is pretty badass. Oh, no, I know. I know. I was joking mostly. I just had this image of just being like, so I see how it is. Okay. I thought that it actually killed me there for a minute. And so I'm glad that didn't happen. Honestly, won't lie. Okay, let's get out.
Yes.
Okay, so we found the one dude that I didn't want back in the party. So lovely. So now we can go get the people that I do want back in the party.
Ready.
Alagern and Matt Kina. Yeah, Rin's return description.
Bring me with you. Don't say no.
Not right now. Well, I guess you didn't say no. Oh, thank you, big boss. Wait. So... Brave Shaper who walks between, is that what you mean? That the one dude playing a dude pretending to be another dude. Yeah, Aritis, I don't know. I think I probably needed more time with Aritis if I really wanted to do, you know, anything involving him, but I basically just picked him up when Rin left. And so... Ooh, The Right to Exist is the name of this? That's awesome. Okay. Honestly, the ones that I need the most, Matt Kina probably is the most important one, but Aligurn is right there. And Rin is really useful too, especially because of other abilities she has. So I really liked that party. I liked that group, so...
Absolutely. I'm here to help.
The rug and jar are mundane but not generic. This place was not built for your memories, but from your memories, but you know you've seen these before. It would take immense strength to create homes from these slabs of rock. You remember now. These are the homes of Colm Village from the mayor Matt Kina gave you. I like that they're bringing the mayors back here in this.
Now.
The flickering shapes and ambient shadows that bedevil Tash are almost invisible, but as you near, they take form. You see Matt Kina struggling against the forces of the first militia in Colm, and Tash is lunging at her, snarling as he tries to undo the changes you wrought in his history. He struggles against the constraints you placed on him when you inhabited his body. He snarls and spits as you violate his life and choice. He is alive with defiance and humiliation. No, no! Get out of my mind, my body. This is not how it's supposed to be. It's me, Tash, remember? This isn't real, it's just an illusion. He shakes his head violently. He can hear your words, but perhaps not your voice. He claps his hands over his ears. I reject this illusion, I reject it. Oh, Tropic Thunder. This is my past, this is not real. The shadows fade, the voice is dull and dim. He looks up at you, wonder dawning in his eyes. Yes. Yes, I am free. He stands straight and the fabric of his body begins to fray. He wraps his arms around himself, becoming insubstantial. I am free, he whispers again, and then he vanishes altogether. Matt Kina holds her weapons tightly and screams. This is the one I really need. As you come close, the shadows around her solidify. She is reliving the horrors of the attack on Colm, and for a moment you're there with her. The first militia lashes out with their weapons, and the villagers transform into their monstrous forms again. Her weapons have no effect, and her dying friends gout blood that washes around her boots. Neng, Tick, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. The faces in her nightmare change and twist. You see the first mask, Paj's face, Melmoth, the Memavira. Countless faces, jeering, mocking, spilling their contempt across her. She fights savagely against the faces arrayed against her, each another stone in a wall of betrayal and mistrust. She's muttering and whimpering as if caught in a living dream, and you can hear her whispers. Traitor, murderer of dreams, butcher, my fault, must scatter you, burn you. I'm here, Matt Kina. You don't need to fight anymore. I'm here, Neng, she says. The shadows leer and twist around her, and a distorted version of Paj's face looms in the air. She raises a flame lance high over her head and strikes swiftly. Matt Kina knocks it aside, plunging a knife in the shadow's body. The ferocious heat from the lance washes over you even as the lance vanishes. This illusion is powerful, too powerful to just talk her out of it. In a whisper almost too soft to hear, you hear Matt Kina say, I don't want to fight anymore. Tash is gone. You're free now, Matt Kina. Tash is gone. I killed him. I'm sure of it. So why is he here? She's only barely aware of your words, not enough to change what she sees. Her torment is particularly strong, and the knowledge you need to free her isn't here. You'll have to search elsewhere in the labyrinth to find a way to help her. Oh. Okay. Well, I need her back big time, so... And Aligurn! My boy! I need you big time. As you approach, you see Aligurn trapped in a repeating loop of tortured time. This is going to be about his family. The shadow of a black metal frame looms behind him, and a flood of night-black monsters pours from it, red in eye and tooth. Shadowy villagers lurch and scream as the monsters fasten onto them. Did Nonstop just resub? Because I don't have the GOG notifications up for this. Did he just resub? Because if so, thank you, Nonstop. And a flood of night-black monsters pours from it, red in eye and tooth. Shadowy villagers lurch and scream as the monsters fasten onto them. Their faces come clear for a moment, agony and fear their defining traits. Thank you for the sub, Nonstop. I appreciate it. Can we get some DRM freeze in the chat if we have some subs here? I know we have some subs here. Some DRM freeze, etc. Two stand out, a woman and her daughter. Aligarn sobs, helpless. The creatures close in. Isatrina! Avija! No! Curse this body, I'm too slow, too stupid. You know the truth of what you see here, that the creatures that assail Aligarn's family are not destroying them. The beasts are copying the villagers, transmuting them into data that will be patterned to Aligarn's arms. Maybe reminding him of the truth will set him free of his suffering. The monsters didn't destroy your village, Aligarn. We will find the code that will set them free. Reason creeps onto his face and the numb horror recedes. The blackness that spills from the frame is gone. He lays a hand on a tattoo and pulls it halfway from his skin. I know you. I know you. I know all of you. He reaches into his skin and lifts a handful of them into the air. Oh, my friends, Isatrina, Avija, I am not dead? No, not dead. I should have known. I cursed you. I hated you. I wanted you gone, but I carried my answers. I'm so sorry. How is this possible? How do I know the answer now? How do I... It was you. You unlocked the answer. You showed me the secret to releasing them from the trap of my skin. When we return to the world, I'll set them loose. Thank you, friend. Thank you. So, what now? Can we join up, please? Gladly.
Feels like everything's going to be all right.
Alrighty. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Alright, what have you got right now? A quick ice axe? I may have a better weapon for you than that. Let's see. I got the sapient blade. And a cacophony blade. 10 physical damage, 4 damage per effort applied, up to 16. 15% to critical hit chance. On critical hits, wielder gains sapient blade, mental damage. Or the cacophony blade. 18 physical damage, 2 damage per effort applied. Okay, yeah. No need to go any further. Look at that thing. Look at that thing. That's like a cloud sword right there. That saw blade. Oh, man. Just for fun, because I just don't want to see. Yeah, that's cool too, but that's where it's at. Oh, man. Oh no, that's right. Right. Okay, good. We got Aligarn back. Now we just need Matkina. These hovels are markedly different from the stone homes below, as if they were from a different village. Please tell me this will help me get Matkina free. You look up. The stone figure looks down, holding a circular symbol in its hands. Hair, or perhaps tendrils, curl from the edges of the hood that cover most of the statue's angular face. Abstract patterns race along the folds and wrinkles of the figure's robes. Okay, let me examine the statue as a whole. It's not immediately apparent who the statue portrayed. Perhaps this was a major figure in another cast-off's life and found its way here somehow. You may never know. The symbol itself is a collection of shapes. A cross within a square inside a circle. A riddle wrapped inside an enigma inside. It seems familiar now that you look at it more closely. It's not simple stone either. Memory tangled in stone. A symbol of bounded power echoing upon itself. Touch the square. You lay your hand upon the square and a vision falls upon you, showing you a single figure kneeling at the peak of a jagged pile of bones. You cannot tell if it is a man or woman, but the cast-off tattoo is clearly visible. All you can hear are the whispered words, "Thank you. Thank you. Thank you." Okay. What about the circle? You brush your hand against the circle and a vision enfolds you in its arms, showing you a ghostly woman's face. The same ghostly woman you met in the calm of your mind. Anguish fades from her, then the translucent light. Before long, her face is flesh once more. I wonder if that's the... Yeah, I wonder if that did something there. Touch the cross. A vision cracks open your mind, showing you a billowing, towering creature screaming with 1,000 mouths. She is devouring herself. She is the Avenger targeted for revenge, and she is dying.
I'm ready to learn something
Okay.
new.
You lay both hands upon the symbol, pull, and a vision unfolds before your eyes. You tower over the world, crossing it with great invisible strides. Faces flur beneath you, a sea of them, but all of them have one thing in common. No cast-off tattoos. You and your siblings are nowhere to be seen. The image fades when you release the symbol firmly held in the statue's grip. Nonetheless, you still feel the rough edges of it in your palms, if only for a second. Okay.
Yeah?
You know, I felt like Allegern had leveled up here. I'll level up myself first. Alright. Let's do that. Yeah, see, I thought he was ready to level up. Maybe it was Matt Kina who was. Okay. Voices whisper to you from the gold expanse beyond this village. None of it's real. It's just the memories of your fellow cast-offs. Okay.
You've got it.
Let's see if what I have now is enough. If not, I'm going to have to go to the one next door so I can get... Because Allegern's important, but I really need Matt Kina back. Okay.
You bet.
So, hopefully the Fathom right next door will do that. Because there's one Fathom next door, which if I had that information would help to get Matt Kina back. Alright.
Doing it now.
What say you, ghostly woman? I found Matt Kina, but I couldn't break her illusion. Do you know how I could free her? I don't. I'm sorry. But the nature of these illusions is a mystery to me. But keep searching. All of your brethren are here. Perhaps one of them has learned the nature of illusions and can help you. Okay, let me try the shadowy figure up here, and then we'll go to the other Fathom. Let's see what we get. Empty reflection. No, it's not going to do it. Alright. Last Fathom. It's the final Fathom. Alright. Hello.
Yes. Now.
Done.
Wow, that's cool. This short, spare, lean-faced gibber is so wrapped up in his work that he doesn't notice your approach. His multicolored scales look like they were patched together from an avalanche of shreds and scraps. He squeezes a strangely ticking device in his left hand, regularly checking the readings from this instrument. His expression changes with every glance, twisting from amusement to horror to disgust. Rhizomes are the answer, not trees. We should never have believed in trees, roots, and radicals. They've made us suffer too much. You're not a lacuna? Then we are linked, you and I. Oh, yeah, if you... Dragon, I hate to drive you away, but if you just started, I'm just about to the end. I got about an hour and a half, 2 hours left. So, yeah, sorry, man. I'm finishing it tonight. Yes, we're about halfway through. Yeah, thanks, X5. Closing in a couple minutes, but yeah, we're just about halfway through. I'll be closing up shop tonight in about an hour and a half, maybe a little bit longer. I want to make sure this game is finished. And then tomorrow will be Miss Psyche joining you with Neverwinter Nights, but I'm going to close up shop today. We are linked, you and I, by life and memory and torment. You got a fun playthrough in front of you, I can tell you that, Dragon. Tell me, brother, what was the nature of your illusion? If there is no root, then even our sire is a sibling. We are all one. What illusion do you mean? We suffer more in our imagination than in reality. All of our brothers and sisters have been drawn into this place. To keep us here while we await our destiny, the labyrinth constructs illusions from our fears, nightmares from our own self-inflicted torment. It takes the serenity of knowing oneself to free oneself. I was confronted by a scarred man from my past. Were I not certain that I had already truly forgiven him, I would not be speaking to you now. This guy, I think, knows quite a bit about illusions, it sounds like. Have I forgiven him or myself? What is the nature of our regret? For sure. Can we free others from their illusions? All that consists is real, and the plane of consistency is the abolition of all metaphor. Some can free themselves as I have. Some merely need be told that what they fear is unreal. The rest are more difficult. I suspect that if one steps into the metaphor with them, takes their hand and leads them out, they can be freed. But you must understand the nature of their regret. I have been unsuccessful in that so far. That explains why you couldn't break Metkina from her illusion. You have to understand the nature of her regret before you can help her. Maybe studying her illusion again will help. Okay, that's good to know. Who are you? Who are any of us? I'm a part of all that we have met. I am that part of you that can hear what you're saying. Ephimpi. Are you a reflection of someone I've met? Haven't you been listening? I'm no reflection, no lacuna, no construct of your imagination. I am just like you. A cast-off, merged by the labyrinth, awaiting a destination. What's a lacuna? Figments. Constructions fabricated from our collective consciousness. Take Loyhan there, for instance. He is neither a cast-off nor a reflection. There may have once been an actual gibber merchant named Loyhan. I don't know. Or perhaps he's an archetypal conglomerate. Regardless, he's a dream created entirely by the labyrinth. He doesn't even realize where or what he is. What is that device? Perhaps it also is an illusion. I seek to understand the nature of our shadows. Speaking with the others has been fruitless. So I observe. I measure. I hope. It is the latter that will be my downfall, I am certain. Welcome back, Marjan. Abolish the metaphor. Understand their regrets. Step into the illusion with them. Guide them out. Simpler to say than to do. Right. Okay. That is useful. So...
Trust and honesty are our bonds.
This market was better before the Giash let visitors in. Do you know the way to Perlandra Park?
Yes.
I seem to have lost it.
Now.
Yes. Water emerging from these tubes tastes like time. Strange liquids and even creatures sit in these jars and containers as though for sale. However, they are immovable as the rock. The wiry gibber gives you a nod as you approach, his lips crooked into a friendly smile. Although his relaxed posture suggests a measure of comfort with his surroundings, his hand is wrapped tightly, almost nervously, around a tattered, leather-bound notebook. Inexplicably, the book seems unaffected by the water. Loyan Stoles, Censor Taker and Demographer Plenipotentiary, by appointment to the Giash. Wow. Check out me pulling out Plenipotentiary on the fly. Damn, that was just mostly luck that I pronounced that right the first time. Might you spare a moment for a few questions? I'd be happy to answer your questions. Well, I suppose I should. Yes, I'm sure the first thing to ask would be strange, very strange. Well, maybe you have some questions for me? Is it really a good idea to use a leather book underwater? I suppose it could be a Numenera of some sort, or maybe the leather is tanned from some sort of hydrophobic hide. Strange, though. Truth be told, I hadn't particularly thought about it. Can I see that book you're holding? You may not. Out of the question. Absolutely forbidden. As you can imagine, it's replete with sensitive personal information. The Giash vouchsafes the privacy of his citizens, and naturally, as the Giash's agent, I must do the same. I think there might be something important in the book. Please let me look at it with the power of psychology! Oh, all right. But I need you to give it back to me right as soon as you're done. He hands you the book. Far from being full of personal information, it is overwhelming empty. Should be overwhelmingly. There are only 5 pages that aren't blank. Each is a solid color. indigo, blue, gold, silver, and red. In the center of each is your familiar tattoo, like a deletion, an absence of color. Still, something about them draws your attention. Okay. Let's take a look at the... What is my dominant thing? Gold? Yeah, I love that word. Lying prone on the dune, the pale gray cloak and cowl blending with the drift, you are surely invisible to the distant caravanners. They can no more see you than they can detect the iron wind howling their way. They are ignorant of the line being drawn across their lives, as ignorant of the calm before as they are of the coming storm. Later this moment will matter. Not just for them, for the wind can know no master, but what it sows can be reaped, its fruits fermented into toxins. Your brothers and sisters are hard to kill. Faith is hard to kill. Too many of them still revel in the bodies your father gave them, groveling for the half-chewed meat he's tossed away. When the flesh fails, faith will follow. No one loves a father who can't protect them. The drift begins the stir. The wind is coming, and with it, change. You give those who lie in its way no warning. These are cast-off memories. There's some familiarity to them, but there's nothing new in this place. How about indigo? Smells. Brackish water fouled with schist. Burning hair. Garbage rotting beneath the sun. It's you they're burning. Your feet are wet, but they're burning too, differently. They're flayed, and the filthy salt water sets your nerves aflame. Why? Why are they doing this? Through the smoke, through the pain, you see a ruined land, poisoned, stripped, murdered. The natives want you to look at a stone tablet. They gibber about a contract graven in the rock generations ago. A trade. A promise. It wasn't you who made it. You swear it. You swore it before as the folk first pleaded and then howled about the living sphere they grew for you, how they sapped the land's health and drove the earth below the sea to quicken the sphere. Madness. Pain and madness. Oh my God. Wow, thank you for the sub on my channel, David Anthony. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. That kind of... Sorry about that. I was not expecting a sub over here. Thank you. In fact, he's not even here at the moment, so thank you, David Anthony. I appreciate it. Madness, pain and madness, your entire life, pain and madness and fire, a few hours and nothing else, then it will all end. It wasn't me, I wasn't even here. Death without reason, punishment without crime, a legacy of ash washed away in a rising tide. Okay, what about the blue book? There is a time to question and a time to obey. In case anyone's curious, by the way, the big tides for me have been gold and then secondarily blue. There's been a little bit of silver that's snuck in there as well, but that's basically gold, blue, and silver have been my main tides. Right now I'm dominant gold, which is kind of what I'd like to be in real life, actually. So gold and blue would be a good combo, a little bit of silver. Does she really mean to put her trust in this pedant? His study is adorned with trophies and accolades. A particularly large one commends its recipient for solving a complex fraud permeating the entire operation of the caravanserai. Vanity. The very organization of the room, not a clutter but a catalog, is a shrine to self-love. As an officer, you disappear behind your ribbons. Oh, no problem, Dragon. Was that you? Thank you very much for the sub on my channel. Don't be sorry for subbing to me, man. How dare you sub to me? I mean, listen, I'm grateful. Thanks. I appreciate it. Is a shrine to self-love. As an officer, you disappear behind your ribbons. You obliterate yourself. Yeah, I know, right, Big Boss? This puzzle breaker has done exactly the opposite. Obedience. The order is given. Your job is to secure the services of a brilliant mind for whom no conundrum is proven insoluble. To ask, to wonder, to ponder, those are tasks for another. Let the endless battle end. Let the dying stop. All right, what about silver? Across from you is a fellow cast-off, a fellow officer, a fellow gambler. Eyes inscrutable, cards impossible to guess. The other players are broke. Their company's bonuses and leave and even material pissed away at the table. Tomorrow some will die for want of shield ciphers. Others will live because a captain drew a trump card. Chance. But iterate chance enough and probabilities become inevitable. And the battle never ends. It's leave you're playing for you and your soldiers. Nearly every company is being sent to Ansau to deal with the Chalcedon's assault. But one lucky band will have a milk run and a good debauching. Not yours, though. The cards in your hand are low. You know your bluff will be called. Tomorrow your grunts will be in the thick of it, and this lack nibber will be playing nursemaid to an Aeon priest. Luck. Dumb, dumb luck, grinding beneath it all pride and striving. Some very good sentence-by-sentence level writing here. There are times when, and actually even the first Torment suffered from this problem, where they get a little too clever by half, and there's so much sort of obscure phrasing, bizarre statements, contrary things, that the whole thing just kind of becomes like a glob. Like you can't really get anywhere with it. You're just like, I'm just looking at inscrutable stuff. Occasionally, as in general, I think the writing is good overall, of course, but in general that happens. But on the sentence by sentence level, there's a lot of good sentence by sentence sort of close in writing here, which I like. Time to ask questions, a time to obey. To everything, turn, turn, turn. You're singing. You were born singing, apparently. It shifts your senses away from the smells. It shifts your mind away from the shame. You like the doing of it, the escape from being trapped in your own thoughts. You've seen others that he made, cast-offs, strong and fast and beautiful. Human. Even a Gibro, once swift swimmer smelling of burnt copper. To yourself, in the dark, you sing of them and their lives beyond the ghetto's bounds. You could leave, couldn't you? Yeah, exactly, Big Boss. Any action, any change would surely be better. But perhaps not. Every song has its place, the space that holds its sound best, where echoes and reverberations harmonize. This is your place. He locked you here, for better and for worse. You are your own shackles. So you sing. So many memories, so many lifetimes trapped within this place. The weight of it is overwhelming. Okay, return the book to Loyan. Seems happy to have it back. Your book is basically empty. The only pages with anything on them are just marked with my tattoo. Well, basically, eh? That's an important qualification. Very well, I confess. I'm not even the one who filled out those entries. I think they've been here the whole time. The chief demographer will have my scales, I fear. But truth be told, there just doesn't seem anyone to interview. Odd, isn't it? If Fimpy says you're not real, just a figment of a collective imagination. As you can imagine, we census takers receive all manner of imprecations. I suppose this imaginary jab relates to the chief demographer's decision to transition us to statistical sampling methods. I assure you, every person counts, even me. You're a census taker with an empty book that miraculously stays dry underwater. Can't you see that if Fimpy's right, you aren't real? Ah. Nice. I like that. One of the things I like about this is that you can save them sort of on the local level, like characters that aren't really important or significant. You can save them and then like basically release them, and then there's others that you release that are more important. Wait a second. Shimmering film appears to be as strong as steel. Okay.
Trust and honesty are our bonds. For you, anything.
All right.
This looks like some kind of underwater cafe. The water's warmer here, pleasantly so. Wonder if I could get a venti passion fruit iced tea here.
Ready.
Wonder if it's expensive underwaters as it is above ground. Above land, I mean.
Whatever you need.
Okay, we'll interact with that in a bit. Alright. Ah, maze off. Mazov slaps his hands at the water in front of them as though he were banging his hands against a wall. Let me out, you monsters! It wasn't my idea. I didn't even want the damn talisman. See if I can touch him. Pull him out of his cage. Let's do it. With both hands, you grab him and pull him forward. When he reaches his imaginary wall, however, he meets some kind of resistance. Leave me alone! Haven't you gibbers done enough? What's wrong? What's wrong with staying in your damn body for once? We could have escaped together. Or you could have come back for me. I can't get out of here alone. There's nothing in here. I need some kind of tool to get out of here. Okay, let's understand the nature of Mazov's torment. That's what I learned from the guy down below. He believes he's imprisoned in the oasis again like he was long ago, but that alone should not be enough to anguish him like this. Finally it dawns on you, his agony is not his physical imprisonment, but the fact that he was abandoned by his maker. Twice. He can't be forced free, but what he needs, what he wants most desperately, is help. He's looking around for a tool. Perhaps if you gave him something, then you could be the help he needs. Well, you know, I think I went the right way when I made intellect my main sort of defining characteristic in this game. Maze off here. Get yourself out with this. Ha! I knew you'd come back for me. And you smuggled a shaper key past those damn gibbers. He takes the shin from your hand. Then he kneels down and works at some device you can't see. There's an audible click, the gibber around you swim away, and the haunted look drops from Mazoff's natural eye. It was a shaper key. What? You. We're not in the Oasis. Of course, how could I be so stupid? How else could the resonance chamber have worked? What are you talking about? This is a psychic substrate, a kind of mental dimension that connects us to each other, the changing God and every last one of his children. Even with all my knowledge and abilities, there were things about the resonance chamber that were a mystery to me. This answers a lot of them. This is the thing that links us all, the plane of our minds. He's here too, isn't he? He would have to be. Yeah, that's very true, Big Boss. Well said. Intellect combined with empathy and compassion work real nicely. You have to stop him. He'll be after the core of this place so he can finish the job, so he can snuff us out and save his own damn self. I know. I'm going to stop him. Good, I'll come with you. Let's... What the hell? Damn it. Quick, take this. Find him. Stop him. You have to. Oh, wow. Soon the rest of his body fades and then Mazoff is gone. Oddly, you can still feel his voice in your mind. He might still be somewhere in the labyrinth, but you have no idea where. Okay. So, I know where to give this. Not there. That's probably too much for you also, isn't it? Okay. Lovely. I activated it so that all the cast-offs would be drawn into my mind.
Let's do it.
Which I felt was the right thing to do. Some mercenaries sold chemical injectors. Where did she go?
Go.
An obelisk thrust from the platform like a horn or a claw or a tongue. Its party-colored surface has a shimmer to it and a slick texture. Not quite mineral, but not quite organic either. The garish appearance belies something ancient, even wise, that seems to radiate from the obelisk, as if it were here at the beginning, or close to it, yet retained its youthful energy. 4 runes are carved into it, symbols of a civilization that predated the truth. Let's examine the runes. They are simple shapes, something like a heavy quadruped in profile, a serpentine double curve, a two-tined comb, and a right-angled corner. But despite their simplicity, or perhaps because of it, their meaning is inscrutable. They could be simple glyphs depicting actual things from an ancient civilization, or symbolic ideograms, or phonemes, or senseless graffiti. They could be a warning or an invitation, a name or an epitaph. So goes man's attempt to instill meaning on the world. Okay. You study the strange protrusion, seeking some meaning in its colorful whorls and patterns. Like all Numenera, its exact nature is hopelessly beyond the ken of later worlds. But from your training, you have a basic sense of what it might be. Some kind of psychic battery storing a person's thoughts or memories or very self. As you lay your hand on the slick surface, the patterns move and swirl like living plasma. Actually, no, they aren't moving at all. It was merely a hallucination of some kind. You have a sense that this has happened before. This and more. A memory shifts and contorts through your mind like the colors on the obelisk. It is just a matter of catching hold of it. Okay. Let's capture that memory, shall we? A broad smile spreads across your face as you feel the wisdom welling out from the stone. The 2 gibber beside you, who helped scrap centuries of encrustation from the stone, sense nothing. From your satchel, you take a fleshy, living artifact grafted with various devices and crystals. You lay it on the obelisk and watch as one of the crystals begins to glow faintly, siphoning off the obelisk's psychic emissions. You, and you alone, will reap the bounty of its teachings. As the memory fades, you sense that the obelisk's energy is dissipated in the time you were lost in your own more recent past. The thing that had tapped the obelisk is long gone, so whatever it meant to share has vanished into the ether.
Yes. Now.
Alright. Okay, we are good to go. Let's get back in there. Let's get Matkina rescued. Let's get her freed up. And then I think, I guess there may be a few more fathoms. There may be a few more people in other fathoms. Like, I probably should go to those other chambers just quickly and check them out. The ones up top before I go into the resonance. Because once I go into there, that's it. Oh, wait. Oh, no. There's nothing new in there? Okay. Alright, good. Thank you, then. Thank you for saving me time. Okay, Matkina.
Here we go then.
Okay. No, that's fine. Then I will not do that, then. Okay, let's try to understand how you can help her. Her illusion is more powerful than it should be. She's aware of you, but just barely. What she needs is to stop fighting, and the only way she's going to do that is if she believes her enemies are dead. Perhaps you need to become one of her enemies. Okay? You step forward, arms outstretched. She sees you and attacks, driving her knife into your gut. She's too tortured to hit any vitals, but it still hurts. You come closer and put your arms around her. What? Tash, no. Who are you? They're all dead. All of them. I did this. If it weren't for me... These deaths are not your fault, Matkina. They're all my fault. I watched them die. I couldn't save them. I never went back, and... What are you doing here? By the Black Three, that's embarrassing. I suppose I owe you gratitude for getting me out of that. The Labyrinth. That's where we are, isn't it? I've dreamt of this place. You're my friend, Matkina. You don't owe me anything. I'll hold you to that, shall I? Forget all about that pouch of shins I lifted off you earlier? Alright. Got a plan in mind? Hell yeah, I need you to join me. Between that and rot down here, not much of a choice. I'm with you. Hell yeah! The gang is back together, people. The gang is back together. Okay, now. Transdimensional scalpel. I need to see if I can find something even more effective for you. So we've got that. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. That really is a good weapon. Really is a good weapon. Right? I'm not giving her that. She may have the best weapon that she can get that I have for her. I thought... see, I don't want to have her to heavy melee weapon. Alright. I think that's good. Wow, Rin is almost ready to level up. Oh, so is Alagern. And Matkina is ready. All ready. Hell yes.
My enemies will fear me.
That warp
Fear
dash
me
is
more.
so good. Yep. Alrighty.
I'm ready.
Okay, we got the gang back together. Here we go, people. It's time to get into the resonance. I'm gonna hey Discalte, if I rest, I guess actually she has the rested Fettle, doesn't she? Yeah, never mind. Okay, so they're all, well, except him. You know what? Instead of wasting time that I might not have.
Thank you.
Alright. Alright, I'm good to go.
I'm going. Fine.
Alright. Here we go. Party back together again. I'm really glad that I get to fight with Rin again. Very pleased about that. Alright. Let's do it.
Yes.
Here we go. Something is screwed up here. I'm gonna have to fix that. Come too late to help the traders. You're trapped in illusion, Raymond. None of this is real. Alright. I have to reload that because something is messed up with the, for some reason it kept this, description of a level that I had already been in. So I wanted to reload that quickly. There we go. All better.
I'm ready.
Okay. Come too late to help the traitors. Kill him too. I won't fight my brothers and sisters. Ha! A traitor and a coward. Pitiful.
I'm faltering. I'm hurt.
This looks exactly like the machine in Caravanserai, but this machine is quiet and unresponsive. Like a model of the real thing. You don't recognize this ghostly corpse, although it looks familiar. Then again, everything looks familiar here. Something catches your eye within the corpse. A dark mass filled with tiny points of brilliant light. Ghostly corpse offers no resistance as you reach inside it. The mass feels like nothing more than a pocket of warm air, but you're able to lift it out of the corpse and put it in your pack. Okay. Is there any of these that I don't need? Alright. Wonder if that just wasted time. Oh, maybe not. Hello. Hello level ups too. I'm not reading these out because they'll move too quickly for me to get it right, and I still don't know exactly. I think I know who they are. I think that's the Changing God in the first cast off, I believe.
I'm going.
Can I please level myself up? Okay. I don't know why I couldn't just level myself up there. Okay. I like... Did I really? Oh, I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to be skipping a substantial part of the end game. That wasn't what I meant to do. I hope that's not bad. But I think I'm actually going to do that. Oh, yes. Abilities to learn. Plus 2 damage necessary attack. Alright, let's see. Adaptation. Tropic field. Do these things stack? Does adaptation from 2 different people stack? Like if I had Aligarn do his adaptation and I did my adaptation, do those things stack? Do you know? Because that's going to be... Because that makes a difference as to whether I want to use this one or not. I'm basically going to get either adaptation or quantum step, so I need to know whether or not this... whether this stacks or not. That's actually not bad either. Yeah. A strict talker. I'm going to get those two. Okay. The Numenera version of Brave Sir Robin. I think it's for this game. I think it is completely logical. Okay. Oh, not Arb. Arb before final battle. Okay. Yep. There's no door or portal back to the fathom you came from, only a diffuse light with no discernible source. These mushrooms are reacting to the pulses of the rings. A sharp citrus scent fills the air each time their spores burst forth. And intense cold rolls over you with each burst of light. Presumably this machine was something of your sire's, constructed from cast-off memories.
Consider it done.
You have walked into the middle of an argument. Neither of the speakers acknowledges your presence. Their concentration is fully engaged with the other. One of them looks like Andronis, the cast-off from Mile Avist, but he carries himself very differently. Confident, haughty. This must be Andronis before he was cast off. The other is the first cast-off as you saw her in the Memivirus Fortress, but noticeably less scarred and beaten. A younger version. No, Marilel. I gave you my reasons, and I have had enough of explaining myself to you. I've aided you in your researches, uncovered secrets of the tides you never knew, would never have figured on your own. I'm twice the thinker you are. You are an accident. I won't deny the advantages your awareness provides, but do not deign to suggest we are anything like equals. First thoughts are jumbled and confused. Her mind is in a loop, reliving the same moments over and over again. I can't tell you how much pleasure it gives me to see her trapped here. Pity there's no other way out. We've got to help her or we'll get stuck too. Wouldn't that be ironic? Stop arguing. This isn't real. Stop arguing. This isn't real. It can't be. You were a father to me, but I see now what you really are. You're a narcissist. You've forgotten the fear of death. I haven't forgotten the fear of death. I live with it every day, with a reminder of what it has taken from me. Don't you realize that everything I do is in service of gaining it back? It's not just for me. What do you think you are to me, anyway? We're your children. All of us. And we're looking to you for guidance and help. We want to be your allies, but you keep setting us aside. And now you're withholding something that could save our lives. Now you're speaking for the rest of them, eh? Making yourself first among equals? Well, I have said this before, but apparently it wasn't clear to you. So, I will clarify, and you can relay these words to the others. I have but one daughter. You are not she. You have a daughter? You have a daughter. Right here. The one you're talking about has been dead for centuries, but I am flesh and blood. I am alive and begging for your help to stay that way. You're not my daughter. You're a creation. You're a shell. Do you feel shame when you discard your own clothes? Do you feel pity when the doll burns? I feel as much connection to you as I do that mask. Okay, well, we'll see, Descaldi. I don't hate you, Marilyn. I don't despise you. But you need to look at this from my perspective. All of this equipment, all of the cast-offs, they're all just byproducts of what I began long ago. I must finish what I started. How will you finish what you started? How will you finish what you started? The sorrow hunts us because of what you've done. I know that, gods. The sorrow was an unfortunate byproduct of my work. You know that. So my solution is simple. I'm going to find a way to bring you all back into myself. My mind will be whole again, and whatever evil the sorrow thinks I've done will be put to rest. It will leave us alone forever. Not us, you. If you suck us into your head, we will no longer exist. I won't let you. We will find another way. This, by the way, there is a well-known Star Trek episode, the original series, and it was done again in The Next Generation, about there's a transporter accident that basically creates two versions of Captain Kirk. In the original series, the theory is that one of them is his incredibly aggressive, angry side, and the other one is the gentle side, but the idea is that he needs both sides to be able to survive. But each side wants its own sort of authority to exist. Each side is frightened because it's its own entity. And so this is reminding me a lot of that theory. How? How will you find a solution that has eluded me? By definition, you cannot. Your last cast-off believes in what I'm doing. I no longer need your approval. Your last cast-off believes in what I'm doing. I no longer need your approval. It was the first cast-off was the last one to be changed. Why did you choose to save me from that? I said what I thought was the truth. Is that so? Doesn't matter. Nothing has changed. Thank you. Okay. I should actually not say battle. I should say final encounter or whatever.
I'm going.
He needs approval. Right, exactly. He's got issues, right? Sure looks like a final battle place for me, to me. Wow. Oh, and look who's got some leveling up to do. Okay, let's see. That we definitely want. Not that, though. Want those two. Cool. Hey, Super Tyrannical. You've hardly touched it? You don't think you've played it since it was released? Really? Well, for me, I've enjoyed this game a lot. A whole lot. I'm glad it's coming to an end now, only because I'm looking forward to Star Trek next, and I got a bunch of other, games down the line that I'll want to try too. But still.
Hey, stranger, what do you need?
Okay.
I'm ready.
The dominating image on this panel is a map of the room. 5 platforms. Oh, I just got sidetracked. I hear you. You got time. You can get back into it. It's still there. It hasn't gone anywhere, right? 5 platforms in a circle around the central platform. It looks like controls to raise the floors, connecting the various platforms. Oh, yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I hear you, Super. Deep cracks radiate out from 3 different places as though someone had smashed the panel in a hurried rage. The controls are unresponsive. And yet you feel something. The floors are like those in the deep fathom where you first awoke after your fatal fall. The platforms, as well as this control panel, are mental constructs like everything else here. They should respond to your will if you just exert it. Tides surround you, swirling throughout the entirety of this place. You exert your will, pushing power through those channels into the control panel. Even as you watch, the glass reshapes itself, the cracks healing as though they were never there. With a hum and a chitter, the controls come to life. The platform you are standing on pulses with an orange glow, showing the floors in their current state. Touching the platform on the screen should shift the floors. You're still here, then. I had hoped the labyrinth would trap your mind, should be echoing, as well, but apparently I made your body too well. You're too late, though. Even if you repaired that entire fathom, I'm at the labyrinth's final defenses. By the time you reach me, I'll have broken through the door. Go ahead, solve your puzzles. It won't matter. In a little while, you'll be nothing more than a whiff of nostalgia in my mind. Well, we'll see about that, big guy.
Let's do it.
Map in this control panel is fully functional, showing the floors in their current state. Touching the platform on the screen should shift the floors. So let's connect these.
Let's go all. Show them what we've learned.
Yeah. Well, it's taken me, I don't know, 5 months probably to complete it, but that's playing it once a week, obviously, for, 3 to 4 hours at most, 3.5 hours maybe. So, map in this control panel is fully functional. Platform you're standing on pulses with an orange glow, showing the floors in their current state. Touching the platform on the screen should shift the floors. There's an extra image here that was not visible on the other panels, a human figure in dotted outline. Flickers erratically as if something were wrong with it. Okay, let's fix it. Something activates within this panel. Not just this panel, but every panel in the room. Circular stations on every platform grow. The image of the human figure pulses regularly as though waiting for input. Tiny needles puncture your fingers. There's a flash from the circular synth plate next to the panel, and a finger-long blade in its center starts spinning and humming around its axis. Yeah, that's true, X5. I had some D&D in there also. As it spins, it projects a 3-dimensional image very similar to yourself. Your own body flickers in and out of phase. The blade spins faster, brighter. Your body's flickering accelerates until finally the blade dissolves, and standing on the platform is a fully grown human that looks remarkably like you. Hello. You must be me. What happened to him? He did not treat our body all that well. Who are you? Well, I'm a short-lived version of you. Basically. Our creator used these cloning stations to rapidly prototype different body types and features before deciding on a final shell for his consciousness. These look different from the controls I remember. It looks like I'm stuck on the most recent settings. Not that that's a bad thing, of course. I'm sure you won't mind. How long do you last? Only a few minutes, give or take. It's not so bad. It doesn't hurt. At least I don't remember it hurting. If you only live a short time, how do you know all this? Oh, that's the most interesting part. Our creator always liked to process things externally, to have someone to talk to. He constructed assistants all the time. I was enabled to maintain my memories from version to version. That way I could provide more useful feedback on how one body moved or felt compared to another. Our progenitor would even have me perform tasks from time to time, sometimes mundane, sometimes dangerous. The fact that I could learn from my mistakes was a great help. If you're me, then why are you a woman? Our progenitor was funny like that. Gender for the next self was always a last-minute decision. Our creator was never content with one, or even two genders. It was a fungible thing. He would constantly explore and experiment, even trying Vargellin, Gibra, and Derek bodies at different points. You know, even after centuries with our creator, I can't explain the fastidiousness about gender. It's just the way that he is. The Vargellin was very interesting. I'm surprised he didn't choose that body more often. Do you know what this place is? I thought it was the cloning laboratory where prototype bodies were tested, but this doesn't look right at all. Where's the floor? The walls? All the equipment is here, but it's like a nightmare version of the laboratory I know. As if someone described the lab to a visitant that I didn't quite understand at all, and then that visitant tried to recreate it. I don't know. Okay, let's see. Could you perform a task for me, like walk to that other station and toggle the floors? Sure, I can do that. Nice.
Of course.
Um... What? All right, well, so...
I'm ready.
I'm there.
Nice.
Shadows.
Okay, here we go. Hold on a second. Hello? I did respond. Sorry, everyone. I'm just, I was responding to a text from my wife. Hold on a second. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. It's a stasis chamber of some sort. There are no controls on it anywhere. Let's see. There are no controls on it anywhere. Nothing that could help you raise the floors to reach the depths of the labyrinth. A woman lies inside, clearly visible through the shimmering energy field and looking as though she were asleep. Her features are exactly those of the ghostly woman who met you in the calm. Something disturbs the air next to you. The ghostly woman's face begins to appear as though your thoughts summoned her. Yeah. You did summon me. I can discern your memories more clearly than the others, even more clearly than my own. But I remember now. This is who I was, the daughter of the changing god. Oh, damn. It was long ago after the Tabat had laid siege to Sagus Cliffs. My father fought them off, and I was among the survivors, but I didn't exactly survive. One of the Tabat's weapons made me sick somehow in my mind. He discovered how to transfer consciousness, my consciousness, into a new body, hoping it would save me, but it didn't. My sickness followed me in my mind, so my father put me in there. He tried to find a cure for me, and when that failed, he tried to bring me back from death itself. He thought I was unconscious in there, but I remember. The memories are fragmented, but they're there. I was aware of everything, and with so many new memories flooding my mind, I'm able to fill in the gaps I didn't know. Does this mean you're a cast-off? I don't think so. I had my own consciousness like my father does. This is who I was. Now I'm probably just a memory stored forever in the labyrinth. How often has he tried to bring you back? Considering he had centuries to do it? Not very often. A lot at first, then only when he remembered or had some new idea. He used the probability engines underneath Sega's cliffs to birth women with my personality. He tried to use Heaven's Rejoinder, his means for turning back defeats in the endless battle. Once he tried to kidnap a version of me from an alternate reality, but she died in a tragic accident. He never tried that again. What am I to you, Father? Did you just give up? How much do you remember from being in that tank? I can't tell you in time measurements. I only know I was in the tank until the sorrow attacked us. My father fled, saving himself. Maybe he figured he could bring me back even without my body. It's the kind of thing he would assume. Maybe he didn't care. Does that mean this fathom is constructed from your memories? I don't recognize... No, wait. Yes, it's all twisted and disordered, like in a nightmare, but yes, I think these are my memories. I need to get to that portal. Can you build me a path? Yes, I can. Go. Stop him. He's harmed more lives than anyone can count. If you have the power to heal the floors, would you have the power to heal me as well? While you were in this place? Yes, I think I might. I needed it anyway, but... Okay. And I'll tell you what, they were not stingy with the leveling. You got to level up a fair bit in this game. Okay. All right, here we go.
On it. I'll remember that.
Quest updated. The right to exist. Okay. Found Aritis. This massive door leads to the resonance, but it's barred by a sturdy brass cage. Barred door, illuminated door.
I'm going.
Let's try that first. Light around the door's frame dims and flares like a roaring fire in a high wind. As you approach, the bars of the door shudder and bend. It wants to let you in. Okay. A world revolves far below you, a sunset in scarlet flaring on the horizon. To the east, deep indigo shadows fall, painting the planet with darkness. The faintest shimmer of a force screen distorts your vision, and the exhalation of the station pushes warm, moist air across your skin. With a shock, you realize that the view before you is almost identical to the world you saw as you fell to the earth, just slightly higher. You hold an intricately filigreed metal staff. Its carvings slither under your fingers as if it were alive. You were in a great hall that is more like an organic space than a constructed room. Machinery literally sprouts from the floors and walls with no sign of where the synthetic metal gives way to the substrata from which it is grown. Though humid, the hall feels clean and fresh, Welcome back, Kilgore. Healthy and vibrant, full of promise. A holographic map of the moon hovers at the back wall near a small glowing pod. A voice speaks as if from the air itself. Are you certain this procedure will give you final control over the cast-offs? If you are mistaken, the chamber may fail, or worse, detonate with you inside. The voice is familiar, but you can't quite put your finger on its identity. By your side as usual, watching, monitoring. The resonance chamber is ready in Sagus. We just need to make sure this body will work as a catalyst. If something happens down there, I'll signal you to move to the next vessel. And if you don't get out in time, well, you've got me. Let's hear it for redundancy. For now, just settle into the pod and we'll make sure this body will work for us. You've pinpointed the source of the voice. It's coming from the staff in your hands. Oh, yeah, lesson cancellation day, yeah. You see a glowing, ghostly human inside the head of the staff. And then it all falls into place. The voice is familiar because the image is familiar. The ghostly, blue-limbed finger is the specter. Figure, not finger. You study the staff, and it feels like coming home. It is a familiar friend, a comforting ally. It is the cornerstone to this moon, a key to every lock. You know that it copies your mind weekly, serving as a fail-safe and a familiar, a consciousness that is your natural ally. When it speaks with the specter's voice, and when it must manifest, it can create a ghostly image of the changing god's original body. Holding it, you feel safe and control. I know you. I would hope so, concerning that you duplicated me from your own mind less than a week ago. Now let's get you into the chamber and... Are you feeling all right? I'm a cast-off, but I've entered some sort of time loop and I'm in my body, but before I was born. A cast-off? Really? That means... One moment. You say that you have cast your mind back in time to your body? That means that this body is the proper catalyst. We'll be able to activate the resonance chamber. All right, I need you to listen very closely to me. Your body is the key to stopping the sorrow. You just have to get into the chamber and our struggles will be at an end. I appreciate your honesty. Wait. If you're a cast-off and this was already your body, that means we didn't make it to the resonance chamber in your timeline. If you change history here, you run the risk of destroying yourself. So what happens? Not entirely sure. I woke up in an escape cocoon. Then disaster strikes here, and that sounds like the sorrow is coming. We need to get you off this moon, and quickly. If the sorrow destroys this place, all is lost unless you can escape. This is a repository for all our wisdom, all our knowledge, and its loss will be a disaster. But if we can't stop the sorrow, we can at least save your life. And mine. Get into the pod. I've already said that we know your body is prepared to use the resonance chamber, but I want to be sure that all of the parameters are within tolerance. I don't know if your tides have shifted out of variance. If they have, we can try to massage them back within the guidelines your creator and I established. Just step into the pod and we'll start their evaluation. Oh, for goodness... Remain calm. This is all well within normal parameters. The nearby platelets vibrate furiously and the deactivate construct's arm begins to spark and flare. Get out! The sorrow is going to destroy you! Your nemesis manifests in the great hall. Its form is tenuous, wispy as it congeals. It gains solidity in fits and starts. The moon's eternal defenses are slowing it, but they will not be enough to keep it out. As you watch, the sorrow shrugs itself past another line of defenses, jerking itself toward a more terrible reality. Its focus snaps toward you. It coils and writhes, desperate to wipe you from existence. Get to another body. We can always make a new catalyst. Go! It's a multi-level projection. Its orientation and layout is prepared in a way that is naturally pleasing to your eye, and you trace the route to a nearby escape cocoon without difficulty. You'll have to remember the layout of the halls, but the map is clear enough that you think you can remember the route. The construct itself is beyond repair, but a quick study reveals that each of the construct's limbs were designed for independent power. So even though most of the construct is quiescent, its spiked powered hand is not. Working quickly, you detach it from the construct's frame. It will be a suitable gauntlet. The powers that course through it might serve to delay the sorrow's advance. You take hold of one of the discs. Your fingers sink into its spongy material, and with a slight twist of your wrist, you detach it from the column of energy that holds it. It hums and cycles in a pitch that makes your eyes shudder. With each cycle, the dish shifts your vision, changing the colors you perceive. The tides churn within you as you hold it. It may have some effect on the sorrow. You feel the moon shudder, then you feel it tear. The alarms in the great hall have begun to strobe. The lights flicker. The moon's moist air suddenly shrieks past you. The sorrow has breached its walls. The hallway branches with countless offshoots piercing the winding passages of the moon. You know that your escape lies down one of these routes. Your study of the map puts you in good stead here. You count down the passages, and every landmark that you expect arrives when you expect it. As you race through the halls, you see a small slot on the wall. It holds a firm green gel that you know contains some kind of memory. You press your forehead to the gel. It soaks into your skin, leaving behind a dry viridian paste. You are constructing the staff you hold. The specter speaks over your shoulder. This is strange, isn't it? Knowing that I'm watching you make my home, that I'm going to be updated in a week with your experiences, that my consciousness will fill this moon, and thus so will you, in an unbroken, indefinite chain. You say, I don't hold any illusions about the sanctity of consciousness, but then you know that already. This conversation is turning us into a solipsist. You smile. We've been called worse. The memory fades. All right, let's keep running. You pound into the bay, the door shutting behind you. Your breath comes hot in your chest. You double over to catch your breath. Several cocoons are arrayed along the outer wall. You'll need to activate one, and it will spin its webbing around you. The smart membrane is tough, heat-resistant, and it will transfer the entirety of the kinetic force away from you at the moment of impact. You see an injection of some sort, but it's across the bay. You might not have time to reach it. The sorrow tears apart the wall in a fury of light and tidal energy. The flickering energies inside its hood betray no emotion except hunger. It is inexorable. The most you can hope to do is slow it. Let's try to slow it down. You hurl the platelet across the bay. The instant it leaves your fingers, it begins to change its shape. It becomes a cloth, a shroud, and it curves over the sorrow, enveloping your enemy. It molds itself across the creature like a giant scab, fixing the sorrow in place. For a moment, you dare hope that you have arrested its motion, but the scabrous fabric cracks, peels, and falls to the floor in a pile of organic flakes. You have only one defense left. You hardly trust it will be enough to get you to the cocoons and off this doomed moon. Better to run straight for the only hope of escape. You race across the room and snap the syringe from its case. Reading the label, you see that it's a stimulant designed especially for a cast-off. It confers heightened awareness, resistance to pain, and improved accuracy and focus. And you reason if you use it now, it's in your own body. It might carry into the future if you survive the present. You snap the injector into your thigh and trigger it. You feel instantly calmer, the world is brighter, and you can hear the sorrow's inexorable progress. You have a few bare moments before it comes. The sorrow recovers all too quickly from your previous attack and comes for you again. Let's use the gauntlet. You slip the gauntlet over your hand and hold it out in a warding gesture. The energy that blasts from it tears the sorrow apart, decohering it utterly, stripping your foe to its component filaments. I honestly didn't think that would work, mutters the specter. Silence reigns in the bay for a moment, and then the sorrow manifests again, threads of acid smoke weaving themselves together. Guess not. Let's get the hell out. You slip into the cocoon, activate the ejection sequence, and trigger it. The membrane embraces you, forcing you to drop the staff, and begins to slide free at the killing ground of the moon. And then your tattoo blazes as if it's tearing open an onslaught of the tides, all in blue and silver, a stream of information too fast and too large to process. A mighty blast buffets the cocoon, and you feel one of the sorrow's inky tendrils caress your cheek and burn into your mind, searing away knowledge and memory even as you tumble toward the earth. Amidst unspeakable pain, you feel something new forming within you, but you lose consciousness before you can identify what it is. Kind of cool that they manage that like a mare. Okay. All right. So, still can't get there, so I got one more door. Countless scratches and wounds mar the surface of this door. Someone made a great effort to get inside, but to no avail. As you approach, however, the bars of the door shudder and bend. It wants to let you in. Okay. One more of those. You're in a glass dome several kilometers above the ground. Blue sky fills your vision. I recognize this room. Beneath you is a floor of golden metal. A deafening klaxon blares in warning against something. A familiar-looking stasis chamber lies in the center of the dome. A chest fashioned from synth and cold iron sits to one side. Behind the pool, a diamond hovers in the air, scattering prismatic light. A pedestal glows near your hand, a deep azure blue. There's nothing that seems to warrant the blaring klaxons, yet you know the alarm sounds for a reason. The chest is locked with a keypad bearing 17 strange symbols. You're about to lose hope when you realize you know which symbols to press to unlock the chest. You enter the correct code before the memory can slip away. The chest opens with a soft click. The only items of note inside are a wooden shaft with a multicolored crystal tied to one end, and a large hemisphere made of azure steel. There's nothing mystical about the wooden haft, but the crystal on the end is definitely from a prior world. You think it might be a domination rod. The crystal saps the will of any creature it touches. The rod is a good heft and balance like a well-made spear. It may or may not help you, but it will do more good in your hand than in a box. Let's examine the azure steel dome. It's heavy, too heavy to lift by yourself. Your best guess is that it's a wall projector of some kind, probably brought up here as a defensive measure for the laboratory. Unfortunately, you can't see any indication of what kind of barrier it would create, nor any way to activate it. As soon as you approach the diamond, the top of it blooms open. An illusory globe appears within. Words and images speed across its surface. Welcome back. Please state your query. A wave of familiarity slams into you. The changing god used this as an archival device. He kept records of his thoughts and experiments. Specific records can be retrieved by speaking a search term. Wall projector. Previews of several entries flit through your mind. There are scores of results, and you can't figure out how they're organized, nor how to quickly ascertain whether an entry will be useful to you or not. It takes some time to sift through them for something useful. You will have to be careful what you spend time researching. Finally, you find one that's what you're looking for. A male voice, the voice of the body you're wearing, speaks in your mind. A picture of the azure steel dome from the chest appears on the globe inside the diamond. Your voice says, "The panel was not easy to find. There are no visible seams anywhere, but it's easy to open once you know it's there. As soon as I found it, I had the transdimensional wall projector moved to the new laboratory. I don't know what exactly destroyed the old locations, but I know it was transdimensional in nature. The projector should create a barrier large enough to surround the entire dome in case whatever it was comes hunting again." Let's go back to that. Alright, let's activate it. You find the panel mentioned in the archives. Once you know where it is, it slides open easily. You place your hand on the black glass inside. It grows warm at your touch, and there is the smell of a light rain. A low hum murmurs at the edge of your hearing, and the air outside the dome begins to shimmer. The shield appears spherical. You can only hope it will buy you some time against what's coming. Okay. But domination ride. No matching entries. Changing god. The tides have proven to be an extremely fruitful path of exploration. The Tabat don't realize what they've unearthed. They saw these trinkets as just more Numenera, but these forces may even have the power to turn back death itself. I certainly hope so for her sake. I won't take any risks with this new body. I've initiated a fail-safe procedure to transport me away should something happen to me or the laboratory. If any unforeseen danger presents itself, I should be able to escape to a backup location. The Tabat were fools, but they were skilled scavengers gifted with the luck of having discovered the Underspine. I still don't know what the Underspine is, but I'm convinced it came from the Dalad, the same people from which I gleaned the powers of the tides and figured out the key to consciousness transfer. Without the Underspine, they're little more than abhumans of above-average intelligence. Let's talk about transfer then. The consciousness transfer was a success. I transferred Mika to a new body first, a clone of her original. There appeared to be no ill side effects after several days, so I performed the procedure on myself. I'll be watching both of us carefully over the next few weeks. But thus far I'm very hopeful. I'm sure there will be unforeseeable long-term effects, but for the moment, it seems I've found a way to stave off death itself. I cannot imagine any long-term effects that could outweigh that benefit. Oh, crap. There is a thunderous boom. The floor shakes and sways beneath you, causing you to lose your balance. Outside the dome, the horizon tilts back and forth, giving you a sense of vertigo. Suddenly a man appears in front of you. He's not all there. You can see the clouds and vista on the other side of him. He wears a look of human terror on its face. It's broken into the tower. It's only a matter of time before it reaches us here. We have to do something fast. Okay. Mika's condition is not improved after the consciousness transfer. If anything, it's worsened. I've traced the cause to the weapons I received from the Tabbat after their failed siege of Sega's cliffs, but damned if I know how to undo its effects. I don't understand. I should be able to figure this out. I will figure it out. I just need more data. I've discovered a theoretical process to merge my consciousness with hers, but I just need more data. With luck, I can run experiments in the next few days. Mika. Let's see. What happened when I tried to merge my consciousness with Mika? You don't remember? I guess that's why you made me. You never tried to merge your consciousness with hers. After researching it for a while, we discovered that doing so would snuff out your personality. You weren't content with me being the only one of us left. So we rejected that option and kept searching for some other way. Let's do it. I'm afraid we can't. You rejected it before we could implement any kind of experiment. We need some kind of psychic substrate for your consciousness and hers to reside in simultaneously. Then we'd need a catalyst of some kind to create the resonance that would merge you with her. It's certainly possible given time, but the sorrow's at our doorstep. It shattered the electrostatic shield. If it breaks through the plasma window, we're done for. What's your plan? You've got a plan, right? The Dalit people are believed to have existed long before the Ninth World. Dalit is probably not what they called themselves. Their true name is unknown. They made great use of a force referred to in these archives as the Tides, using them especially to affect individual psyches. The civilization of the Dalit did not decline, but was completely wiped out by a creature called the Sorrow. I don't know what the Sorrow is exactly, just that it's old. Really old. And it doesn't pay much attention to established laws of space-time. I wonder just how established those laws really are. Anyway, I first came across mention of it in my research of the Tides. It appears to have been some kind of guardian against tidal abuse. Evidence suggests it may have been solely responsible for the destruction of one of the prior worlds. My experiments with consciousness transfer appear to have woken it. I don't believe it's after me specifically, but I've come to believe it was responsible for the destruction of my precious laboratory. So, the Sorrow must have destroyed the Dalit because of how they abused the Tides. If the weapon that caused Mika's illness was from this same civilization, then it stands to reason her illness is tidal in nature. Like a tidal surge, perhaps. Crap. There's a hiss and a screech beneath the floor. Suddenly the metal hatch flies off its hinges, cracking the strong glass ceiling, then smashing the glowing pedestal. The spectral's man image disappears. A foul black cloud rises from the hatch, and the air is filled with an unearthly wail and the stench of rotting flesh. Tendrils lash out, slicing metal and synth wherever they touch it. Thank goodness the failsafe kicked in. You'll be safe, though the girl and I are doomed. I'll be easy to recover, but I'm sure you'll... He's cut off as the Sorrow's tendrils flay the laboratory all around in a blind fury. The chest and diamond are cut to ribbons. The chamber disintegrates in a ball of purple flame, and the last thing you see as your mind fades from this body is the face of the young girl melting and boiling into ash. I'm not happy with that. I remember now. All of it. I told you I was aware of everything while I was in that chamber. I remember my father abandoning me. I remember, too, how you risked your life for me. After the Sorrow destroyed the stasis chamber, I woke up here in the labyrinth. I wasn't aware, though. Not for a long time. Not until you came and started changing things. What do you mean I started changing things? You are the last cast-off. The one my father created to witness this place, to command it. You have been changing the labyrinth since you were first born. You are the one who will decide our fate. So you're not just a memory? No. I am not a memory, nor a reflection, nor a lacuna. I am Mika, the full consciousness of the changing God's daughter. In the Mare, the advisor said we could cure you by merging your consciousness with your father's. Could it be? Yes. The resonance could be used for that. But it would require all of your consciousnesses, not just my father's. No, I cannot ask you to do that. The price is too great, like those my father paid in his attempts to bring me back. I want to give you your life back. You suffered more unjustly than any of us. My life is not worth the lives of you and your siblings. Anyway, who knows? There may yet be another way to bring me back. But it's your choice in the end. You must do what you think is right. If there were another way to bring me back, my father would have found it. But I couldn't save you. You tried, which is more than I can say for my father. You risked your own life. Besides, if you had died in there, you and every other cast-off would never have existed. Maybe there are some realities you can't change. Okay, so what do we do now? You don't need to do anything. I'd hoped you would open that for me, and here we are. It's time for some hard truths, child. How's this for truth? The resonance is mine. It belongs to me and all cast-offs. I've worked too hard for it to be otherwise. Stand aside, old man, and let us determine our own destiny. Your destiny? You are a part of me. Your destiny was never yours to determine, and the resonance is not yours to claim. Only the latest cast-off can open the door. That body and I are the only ones capable of using the power beyond. You are out of your depth, Marilel, and this no longer concerns you. I needed you to open the door, and you've done that. The cage I can handle on my own. When I enter the resonance, it will be to return my errant children to my mind where they belong. Leave me to it, and we have no further quarrel. What say you? You'd think someone who calls himself the Changing God would learn from his mistakes. I'm not here to debate who I am or what I've done. I'm here to claim what's mine. And what is that exactly? You. You're her ghost, the one that haunts me. My daughter is dead, do you hear me? I can't bring her back, no matter how hard I try. Is that so? Is that creature my father? He looks like what I remember, but he doesn't feel. Enough. I don't wish to fight you, Cast-Off, but neither will you keep me from this. What will it be? Let's see. So... yeah, well, it would be, except I can't do anything about it, because I don't have... I can't save it right now. So... there's another option. There's your daughter's full consciousness. If we merge all the cast-offs with her, she can finally be saved. The resonance is not yours to claim. The real Changing God died when I was born. You're just a backup of his memories. Ridiculous. I've served our sire for centuries. This is him. I know this son of a bitch in 100 different bodies. This is our sire, all right. You speak in simple terms, but you're dense even for one of my cast-offs. I'm the Changing God, and you're standing in my way. If you were truly this Changing God, then this woman, even if this woman were just a memory, she should recognize you as your father, don't you think? But I saw it. I saw it on her face when you challenged her. You're a stranger to her. You're not her. You're not her. Of course you don't know me. Wow. Remember, speaking you to on the moon, you're not the Changing God, you're an assistant, an update. Consciousness needs to be continuous. Let's do that. And I said the conscious conversation was turning us into a solipsist, and we said we've been called worse. But we also said that we hold no illusions about the sanctity of consciousness. That remains true. Consciousness needs to be continuous. You're a copy of what the Changing God was. And by that reasoning, anyone who's had a dreamless Duncan night is also a copy of their previous selves. Spare me your philosophy, Cast-Off. You need me in ways the Changing God wouldn't. You could not activate the resonance chamber without me, nor even open this door. You oversimplify. The accident made me a prisoner here. And now, a short time later, I have control here in the very root of your mind. Oh, he's afraid now. The Changing God wouldn't have lost when we fought. I have lost plenty of battles, and I'm still alive because I know when to retreat and regroup. Constant victory is a fiction I have no use for. Be honest. Don't you have any doubts? Of course I do. Your careless creation has left me trapped here. I've had to fight for every inch of control. Enough of this. You're right. At first I convinced myself I wasn't whole anymore, that something had broken in me or been left behind. But it makes sense. I'm not him. I'm close as anyone, but the changing god is dead.
Doing? That's learning.
Is it true then? Has our sire been gone all this time? It would seem you and I no longer have a quarrel. You did it! He's gone! You've accomplished something I could never achieve. I suppose I owe you my gratitude. You may not be as bad as I thought, but I reserve judgment.
Hey, it looks like you've got this, and I can't stay. I'm sorry, but I can't. I'm glad I got to see you one more time, though.
Why can't you stay? Huh. I wasn't just sitting around waiting to rescue you, know. I was actually in the middle of something. Anyway, this is your world, not mine. You know that. Will we ever meet again? I hope so. Keep Teria on you. Maybe if you need me. Well, he called me once, didn't he? Even if he doesn't, you will always be with me. I wouldn't be who I am without you. Yeah, seems our decisions were wise. Suddenly she lunges forward and throws her arms around you. It's amazing how tall she is. Taller than you, even. She kisses you on the cheek. When she pulls back and smiles, her tears are barely noticeable.
Farewell, my friend. My home and hearth and bread are forever yours.
A portal opens suddenly. The bright light and trees you remember from before spill out of it. She waves one last time and turns to step through it. Oh, goodbye, Rin. So I get to keep the others, but not her. Man, kept losing the others. All right. Oh, wow. Hello, level ups. Okay. All right. Brawler. Ignore the flanked fellow when surrounded by enemies. Hell yeah. And that. And as far as heal to increase, let's see. Safer use. Good. Yes. Now I save. Okay.
Here we go then.
You won. Now do what you came to do, alright? Well, you gonna open it, or do I have to kill you and open it myself? Relax, lady. You're going in, or what? You no longer have any quarrel. Do what you came here to do. Alright? Pulsing waves of heat roll down the stairs, and you hear a low, continuous whirring that's somewhere between a sigh and a melody. The door... That is true, Discaldi. The door is singing as though welcoming you back. Even in this low light, the wheel at the bottom of the door fairly glows. You feel your palms tingle at the sight of it. Something clicks in your mind and the door answers. Hidden gears spin behind the cage. The door is opening for you and you alone. Wow. The sorrow is here in its full power, wearing the unquiet psyches of its victims like a tattered cloak. Filaments of light and energy leak from it, strange colors that correspond to no tides you know. Its tendrils flutter and flap in an unseen breeze. You come before me at last, yet we have met so many times before. It gives me no pleasure to meet you in this place, but you and your kind have left me no choice. Everybody your sire creates abuses those forces you call the tides. They draw energy from those around them,
In so doing, you weaken the seals on energy you do not comprehend. You increase the amount of suffering in the world. Every attempt at mitigating that damage has failed. Every step results in misery. You are the first in millennia to hear me speak in an embodied language. You are persistent, tenacious, and durable, and so perhaps words will suffice where destruction has failed. It is time to bring this experiment in immortality to a close.
How have the tides increased suffering in the world?
The tides themselves do not cause suffering, rather the abuse of them in your bodies. Your kind has wrought torment on the world in the name of endless life. You bring pain, large and small, deliberate and inadvertent. Without you, the endless battle would never have raged. Without you, the children of the endless gate would not have terrorized the world. Betrayals, slaughter, and bloodshed are the hallmarks of a cast-off's wake. Your sister, the slaver Torment, cast her suffering into the child Rin, though the girl had done her no harm. Artaglio sacrificed his courage, his sanity, and his life for you. Your sister Medkina took her adoptive father's eyes, and though she mourned, she did not change her ways. Even the saintly Aldiris brought torment into this world. She thought she drew my attention when she lashed out at me in Mialevist. No, she was already marked. In her body, your sire brought the jagged dream to Sega's cliffs to foment strife. Aldiris rejected them, but chaos and misery trailed even in her passage through the world. Cast-offs bring pain.
I really want to be like, how has our existence caused suffering again? I'm just trying to stop the abuse of the tides.
Are you? We shall see. I know what they say of me. Destroyer of civilizations, death's mistress, soul taker, ender of the circle. Yet I take no pleasure in destruction. My pursuit of your kind has been solely a matter of expedience. But you have come this far, despite my attempts to stop you. I will give you a last chance at an alternate solution. When Aldiris asked you what one life matters, you replied that each life is important, a world of potential. We shall see if you will stand by those words.
What is this place?
This place is the central chamber of your collective mind space. It is the resonance, the true expression of which your resonance chamber was but a shadow. In this place you touch the knowledge and strength of every cast-off ever created.
Okay, why are you here?
When you escaped me on the moon, I placed a piece of myself here as a last resort. I have ridden here in your mind since then.
God damn it, mind.
I could not have found the moon had you not returned to it in the mare, bringing me along with you. I called myself to myself in that reality, breaching the station's defenses to close the loop of time that brought me here, all to ensure that the power of the resonance is not abused, that your kind does not worsen the world again.
What are you?
I am a guardian, a protector, a legacy of a forgotten people, tasked to watch over that which they failed to defend.
I convinced the Spectre that the true changing God is dead. Is this true?
It is late to speak of truths and identities. The one you called the Spectre was the embodiment of the changing God's life and memories. When you convinced him he was dead, that became true enough. All that remains of the changing God, all that he is and was, is here, now, in the labyrinth.
Adira said she never used a tidal surge in her life. How did she abuse the tides?
The surges are one manifestation of that suffering, but your kind draw and distort the energy of the tides at a level you cannot understand. Her passage left lovers squabbling, children crying, and conflicts escalated that might have been avoided. Though she suspected this truth and sought the shelter of Mialevist, even she has been the author of invisible miseries. Every one of you is the same.
So what happens now?
With what purpose have you come?
Well, I came here to stop you from hunting us. I came here to end the title abuse caused by our bodies. I came here to keep the changing gods from snuffing out our existence. I came here to save Mika and bring her back to life. I never meant to come here.
If you speak truly, perhaps we can reach an accord.
The first said that severing the connection between us would stop you from hunting us. Is that true?
The connection of which she speaks is the labyrinth herself. You would no longer draw your power from this place, and my pursuit of you would cease. Your sister's solution would have shattered this place. It would have destroyed the tidal seals that protect the populace from madness. My charter is to guard those seals, to protect that energy. Had her plan actually worked, it would have destroyed the minds of thousands. I could not allow that to occur.
Is there another way to sever the tidal connection?
The resonance chamber was a blunt instrument. Alone it would have shattered and destroyed the labyrinth. The resonance, however, is a sharp edge. It can sever the connection cleanly and without harm, eliminating your kind and the threat you pose to the integrity of the tidal energies. It is the wise choice.
My sire believed that subsuming all the cast-offs into himself would stop you from hunting us. Is that true?
Perhaps, for a time, if he could resist making no further cast-offs. But I have trailed him across the centuries, and I know that he could not resist. The lure of new experience is too strong for him to resist. He would awaken me again and again.
What if the cast-offs were subsumed into someone else? Someone who wouldn't perpetuate the cycle?
Could you find such a person? I would consider it an ideal solution. Yet consider this space. This is a space too large for any mortal mind. Even one fracture through reality cannot hold it all. Only someone already attuned to the labyrinth might successfully contain your minds. Only one of your kind.
Okay. What if I just want everything back the way it was? Is that possible?
Yes, you and your kind can continue to exist. And I will continue to hunt you down, the ever-present looming specter of your mortality, erasing you from history one by one. I will allow this.
It seems like you'll allow any choice I make. What will you oppose?
The resonance has the power to combine and sever, and to remove the protections over the tides entirely. Doing so will unfetter a truly dangerous force, imperiling the land and the psychic landscape for millennia. I cannot permit the choice, and will resist it with all my strength.
Remove the protections? Protections like you?
I am a part of those protections, but not the only part. The released tidal force would flow across this territory, devastating the mental landscape. Many would suffer serious damage to their sanity, and others would find travel through the resultant excitant pollution impossible for thousands of years. This I will not allow.
How do I choose?
I have entwined myself through every piece of this place. It is mine. Tell me your choice, and I will make it reality. If I approve.
If you'd prefer that we all die, why don't you just sever the connection?
I have manifested here, but I do not control the resonance itself. I am the lock and the door, while your thoughts are the key. Your will remains paramount in this place. I can resist your choice, but I cannot make the choice for you.
What if you don't approve of my choice?
Then I will oppose you with all my strength. That is why I'm here.
Okay, I'm ready.
I await your decisions.
The only one blameless in all of this is Mika, the mortal daughter of the changing god. Merge our consciousness into her, and she'll live out her days in my body. Her? You choose the catalyst of this whole situation to survive? She's not blameless. Without her, we'd never have attracted the Tsar's attention in the first place. She's been dead for centuries, you fool. Give this gift to the living. You're wrong again, Marilel. He has a reason for this choice. Look at what you've done with the life you've led. Look at what I've done. Do you really think you'd use extra years for anything but your own glory? Doubt it.
You have lived your life compassionately and with sacrifice. Your answer does not come as a surprise, though your willingness to sacrifice the lives of all your siblings does. Tell me, why have you made this decision?
She has been dead for centuries, her life snatched away. She had nothing to do with this situation. She's innocent in all this. It was the changing god's fault, not hers. I can't blame the victim. You're asking me to accept oblivion for the sake of a girl who's been dead for centuries? You want me to set aside all my history because you want someone else to reach her potential? But isn't that what we're all doing? Aren't we all trying to make a better world for someone else? Fine. Give it to her. I don't care. You've convinced me. Kill us all.
A fair answer. If this is your choice, then we shall commence with a solution.
I thought we had an understanding. I know what you mean. You don't have to explain yourself to me. None of us are any good. Not in the long view. We've had our chance, and all of us have made talk of our lives. You're making the right choice. Well, I wish there was another one, but...
Prepare yourself.
The lights that dance through its form coalesce. The tormented minds that hang within it begin to stream away, drawn to some hidden singularity at the heart of the chamber. The sorrow dissolves, thread by thread, into that invisible whole, decohering into a lattice, a ring, a nearly comprehensible language of symbols and thoughts laying its purpose bare. A pure white light grows at the heart of the resonance, reaching toward you. The light envelops you in a soft embrace. The walls of the labyrinth collapse around you. You and the other cast-offs become the singularity. And the minds of the cast-offs trickle toward you, a stream, a torrent, a flood, a tsunami of experience and memories that stretch across centuries and worlds unimagined. And you remember it all. You remember it all. The pain and tragedy and suffering and triumph. All the motes and dreams of countless others trying to leave their mark on the world. The torrent continues as you surrender control. The memories of cast-offs you have met, the ones you will never meet, fill your mind and overwhelm you. You taste their bitter notes and their sweet, the knowledge of solitude and the deaths of friends, every life, every love, every enemy, the first kiss, the first broken heart, the triumph of justice served, the ashen thrill of revenge realized, sadness, joy, fear, anger, the secrets hidden and the truths revealed. All their memories and hope congeal and compress, joining yours. They overwhelm you, a rising tide of demands and wills honed by centuries of life, drowning you within them. You surrender your identity, sinking into the resonance, and they sink with you, combining into a single sweet note. And then the memories are gone as you stream into Mika's mind and memories, filling her with the wisdom and experience of your lives. You shut out sensation and thought, coiling in on yourself like a flower returning to its seed. And then a great radiance surrounds your mind, an encompassing brilliance. You slip into oblivion, secure in the knowledge that some fraction of your life continues on. When you open your eyes, vertigo assails you. The sorrow hovers here, its tendrils coiling and twisting. It felt like the right thing to do, Disculti, because it was the one person free of all of this corruption. It was the one person who was separate from all of this crap. And I thought that if I put my thoughts in her, there was a chance that a part of me could survive also. So, you sit up. The detritus of the battle surrounds you, but you feel a quietness in the room, a lack. It takes you a moment, and then you realize the first is gone, as are all her allies. Not just dead, but vanished utterly. Even Matkaina is gone. No sign remains of her passage. The world is familiar, but you are seeing it through new eyes. You feel your consciousness slipping away as if sliding under a tectonic plate. You are becoming Mika.
The resonance is sealed. The tides once again at rest. Your father's final vessel has restored you to life, and all the cast-offs are a part of you now. Our journey is concluded.
What happened to the last cast-off?
He chose to give his life for you. He allowed his mind to join those of his siblings in the resonance, and they created the resonance for you, the foundation for your new life.
What happened to my father?
Lost child. He spent his years trying to restore you to life. He has succeeded, though at the cost of his own. I caution you against any attempt to restore him. Let his legacy be manifest in your person.
What will you do now?
First order of business is to get out of the bloom. Maybe head back to Orman. I need to let my people out. After that, if you happen to be in the area, I'd be happy to introduce you to my wife and daughter. They'd like to meet you, I bet. Come to think of it, I would too. You're the one whose life kicked all this off, after all. And you're new to it. I'll give you some pointers. Worked out well for the last person that lived in your body.
Do? Now?
All right, it's who I don't care about.
The now has never felt so much like an end until, well, now. I suppose I could find another beginning? That's what I'd like. Saving the world for someone else.
Go now. Choose a wiser path than your father did, and we will not meet again.
You look away from the diseased patch of air, but this place is not much better. You are surrounded by blackened, bloody rubble. By death. It is time, perhaps, for some fresh air. Taking a deep breath, you set off. The daughter of the changing god set out into the world he had, without knowing, made for her. She traveled in the body that had once belonged to the last cast-off, and with a mind forged by sacrifice. You were remembered for your great acts of compassion and sacrifice. For years to come, tales of your life inspired the people of the Ninth World to follow the murmuring of their conscience and protect those who could not protect themselves. Alagern returned to Orman with the frame that had brought him so much grief. One by one, he pulled his tattoos free and cast them to the black metal portal. His friends emerged on the other side, dazed and shocked by their long years of imprisonment in Alagern's mind and body. He saved his wife and daughter for last, hoping without hope that they would be unharmed. They suffered no lasting damage. Over his remaining years, Alagern learned to understand the frame and its function. Orman became a nomadic village carried on the body of a solitary traveler. Oh, that's cool. Its people flourished, and none forgot the name of the man who showed them the new way. Alagern. What became of Calistige no one knows. Some say she wandered into the deserts around Sagus. Others say she was found dead on the streets shortly after the most recent Bloomquake. And others still say she wanders the known world seeking something forever beyond reach. Tibir returned to Sagus Cliffs, bowed beneath the weight of his guilt and the loss of his lover Alvina. Bereft of any greater purpose, he rededicated himself to the myriad of schemes that had once sustained him. But they no longer did. Desperate to forget his failures, he buried himself in pleasure and took dangerous and despicable jobs to support his extravagant lifestyle. Near the end, he had no less than 5 contracts on his head, but the levies found him first. Guilty of crimes that would have once made him shudder, Tibir at last found himself before a jeering crowd and the executioner he had once feared. Death of Tibir. Iritis set off on his own, blazing as bright as any comet. And yet the cloud of nano-demons had not exaggerated the cost of their hero's increased power. Soon Iritis was limping, then crawling. A week later, a traveler found an unremarkable, straw-haired stranger lying dead in the road. He did not have a single wound. A single golden fleck marked the corner of his mouth. Light-footed boot prints. The corpse's feet were clean and bare, the traveler noticed, wound away down the road, in the direction of the sunrise. Rin returned to her world content. She had rescued the one who had so kindly rescued her. In so doing, she brought closure to a significant part of her life. She would never forget the last cast-off. As for the rest of her story, that has yet to be written. Pico and Keek spent a long life together. Eventually, Pico convinced Keek there were better jobs in the streets above. They had it hard, but they always had each other. They eventually married and left the Sagus Protectorate in search of a quieter life. The veterans of the Fifth Eye enjoyed their retirement from the psychic wars. They drank, they laughed, they retold the same tales to anyone who would listen, until one by one their minds faded and soon there was only Ziobi, drinking with her friends by herself. Although the crippled construct eventually agreed to give up trying to procreate, Tarnish could hear the torment in the foreman's voice. Finally, after Tarnish had grown old, too old to do more than tinker, He changed his mind and worked to help the foreman bring his children into the world. Soon after his 91st birthday, they were successful. The quakes beneath Sagas cliffs ceased for many years, despite Pelial's concerns that without leverage over them, the Stika would return someday. She would stand in the square most days, preaching her fear to whomever would listen. One day, Pelii announced she had evidence the Stika had returned. I don't remember Pelii. She called for a group of brave souls to follow her beneath the city to stop them before it was too late. Several of her bravest listeners followed her into the dark. Nobody knows what has become of them. With the Endless Gate closed, Ronus and the other surviving memorialists were able to clean and rebuild. There were so few of them left, so it took months before the last of the blood was removed. They used several different barrier ciphers to block the tomb that had held the Endless Gate, in case something else ever came through again. They never did get rid of the smells. The Bloom was relatively quiet for days after the Sarah's attack on the Memavirus fortress. Nearly all the Memavirus soldiers had fled, and the rest of the Bloom's denizens waited quietly, wondering what would happen. When the Memavire did not return and nobody rose up to take her place, that's when the fighting began. It started with the mutants of Little Nihilesh, but soon every faction was involved. The Bloom became a deadly battleground, one the Bloom itself seemed to encourage, engorging itself in the lust of its denizens. Bruska harbored a small contingent of civilians inside the fortress, hoping that the violence would die down. They are still there, hoping. Cody worked hard at the Bloom flesh shop. He never grew quite as skilled as the Sundermans, but he had enough skill in his own right. Eventually he expanded their services to woods and metals and became sought after as a carpenter and an engraver. Sometime he left the Bloom to make his own way. He started a shop in Circus Minor, fashioning Numenera into polished tools. He made a name for himself in some small way. Renard, Artaglio's second, continued in his commanding officer's traditions as best he could. Artaglio's irregulars has eked out a modest life in Surgeon's Slump even without their leader. When the troubles in the Bloom started, Renard and his men barricaded Surgeon's Slump. They are still there, though the Bloom itself tears down every barricade they erect. They simply build another one, making sure the Slump, at least, remains safe. The ruins of Mialavis lie broken, untouched. It is more than a century before a group of explorers stumble upon them, wondering what happened in this place. What in the Ninth World could have caused so much destruction? Wow. And that's it. Well, what we normally like to do, folks, is we normally like to sort of go through my feelings about the game. You went for the choice where all cast-offs survive, sorrows destroyed, basically every other human, at least those prone to the tide's maddening effect, and the planet goes crazy or outright dies. Not the happy ending, but at least the cast-offs are alive and maybe potentially are able to reverse the effects of the unleashed tides in the future. Yeah. So first of all, I'll say this is a very, very ambitious game. And I think I remember reading some descriptions of it that said, oh, it got too talky and everything else. I think this is entirely in line, feeling-wise, with what the original Torment was. It's similarly odd, it's similarly off, it has this sort of strange feeling to it, but I think it's very ambitious in terms of what it's trying to get to. I don't know that it always succeeds. I do think sometimes it does sort of philosophy shorthand sometimes, but I think for the most part, it does a pretty good job at rendering a lot of things pretty well. I think it's on weaker ground with the NPCs. With the exception of Rin, I liked... Sorry, not the NPCs. I should say with the companions. I liked Allegern more as things went on. I liked Metkina more as things went on. But honestly, I found the NPCs to be generally more interesting than I did the companions. The Don Quixote-style character, the character that had no eyes that was trying to be, even the Murdens. I found all of that stuff to be more interesting than I did most of the companion stories. I did like Rin, and I liked Allegern and Metkina more as it went on, but there was nothing where I felt really connected to them in the ways that I did with the Torment, the original Torment game. I love the dialogue choices. I thought the combat system was the weakest part of the game, but I got more used to the combat system over time, but I still thought it was weak. I really feel it's a game where combat was not the point, you know, so that was what it was. So that was sort of my sense of it. I think the mares were excellent. I know Descalte agrees with me on that. I think the little story things were really excellent, and maybe my favorite part of the game. I thought they were really good. Art design is gorgeous. Sound design, music design is gorgeous. UI is okay, not great. But in general, I really enjoyed this, though. I thought this was very thoughtful. I would say probably for me this would be a 7.5 out of 10 maybe. It's really hard for me to compare this to something like Pillars of Eternity or Tyranny because they're such different games. Tyranny I probably enjoyed a little more than this, but Tyranny was a very different kind of game, and Tyranny was not going for nearly as much. And I can't really compare this to Pillars of Eternity because it's a very different sort of game that it was trying to do. So for me, it was like a 7.5 out of 10, I think. I really liked the story generally. I thought the story was very interesting, coherent. And as I say, not perfect. There were some missteps here and there, but I really liked it. So as far as the other stuff about In Exile spending $4 million or not or whatever, that's stuff that honestly I think it's reasonable for people to bring it into their assessment of it. I don't do that myself just because I wasn't involved in that. I mean, I picked up the game because I was really into Torment. The first one, Planescape Torment, it was a top game for me, and I wanted to give a choice, that choice there. So I can't really get into that part. I'm not saying it's unreasonable for other people to, but it's just for me playing the game, that's sort of what I came down to. But in general, although I am sorry that it took as long as it did, just because I don't want to make every game that I do be these huge long epics, unlike Wasteland, Wasteland 2, I kind of got tired of after a time. I didn't get tired of this. So I really did enjoy it, and I'm glad that I played through it. I think it was really cool. I don't know how you come up with a sequel to this either. I don't know how you do a spiritual successor to it even, because you just have to do, it's just so much its own thing. But I thought it was very well done and handled very well. Also, I want to give a shout out to not only the developers, who of course I've had on my channel before. I had Shauna Germain, Pat Rothfuss on my channel before, so I want to thank them. But over on GOG, I want to thank Kilgore, who I think is still here, because Kilgore was kind enough to allow me to run this as a series. I ended up, he had also, I think either played this or was thinking about playing it on his channel and then here, and he was kind enough to allow me to do it. So Kilgore, again, thank you very much, because I really enjoyed playing this. I tried to do it justice. So I hope that you guys in chat enjoyed it as much as I did. I thought it was a really fun experience to go through, and I'm glad that I was able to do it, because it was fun. It was a good experience for me. And next week, believe it or not, we get into a new game. Next week, I believe, is going to be the opening salvo, the opening section of Star Trek Judgment Rights. I'm going to be doing that next week on this very channel during this show. For episode 93, I think it is, of Pen and Pixels. And then the week after that, we'll be doing D&D with GOG, with the Storm Thunders, with the Storm King Thunders module. So I'm looking forward to that, because it's going to be fun to get into the Star Trek thing and just to do something different. Again, it's nothing against this game, but just to do something different. And hopefully we will continue with that process of doing something different as time goes on. Star Trek will not take anywhere near as long as this one did, I don't believe. So that'll be cool. And I might do that at some point. Next on Pen and Pixels, the Buster Keaton story. Yeah, there we go. X5 has this, what's this conclusion here? Oh, of so we are freed from the torment that was tides of Numenera, our of whom has salvated us from the beyond, twisted realities of unimaginable proportions, only we still linger in the true reality. One planet, one race, one nation, Earth, facing devastation within southern U.S., we still pray, hope, and bear faith for the people at the hurricane dubbed Harvey's Mercy. But as it vanishes soon, we shall rebuild together in our darkest times. But we bid farewell to Torment, Tides of Numenera. I will give TTON a positive for the extraordinary graphics and the smoothness of it all. Heavy storytelling, not much combat, but complex combat. Love its long length. Twitch Unity. All right, fair enough. Sounds good. Thank you, X5, for the conclusion. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, and thank you guys all for sticking with me over these last however many episodes it was. It was a lot of weeks, a lot of months, but we did get through it, and I'm glad that we did. So kudos to In Exile, kudos to Colin McComb, all the developers, again, Shauna Germain, Pat Rothfuss, all the main writers of the game. Thanks to everybody who was made this game possible, and thank you guys for being with me as I did it. Thanks also to Duscalte, who gave me some good suggestions along the way, so thank you, Duscalte, and those of you who played with intent as well. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this. Otherwise, I'm going to be back on my channel on Friday. I don't yet know what I'm playing because it's the new month, so I have to figure that out. It probably will be Lunar Silver Star Story. A lot of D&D on my channel coming up, a lot of Fighting Fantasy Gamebook play, a lot of Lunar, a lot of other stuff happening, so definitely check my channel out if you want to. I would appreciate that very much. If you want to follow and hang out over there, support the Patreon, etc. Thank you to all the folks who came here and followed today and subbed subbed to GOG today, please do that as well. There's a lot of really amazing streamers here, and I am proud to be a part of the team. But if you do not see me on my channel, then I will see all of you here next Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern for episode 93, I think, of Pen and Pixels and Star Trek Judgment Rights. Thank you very much, Kilgore. I appreciate it. But as for me, that's it. Thanks to all of you guys as well in chat. Much love to all of you. And tomorrow morning, you will see, or well, morning for me, you will see Miss Psyche playing Neverwinter Nights. So make sure that you come back for then. Until now, though, until then, that's it for me. That's it for GOG. Thanks, everybody, and I will catch all of you wonderful people soon. Torment, Tides of Numenera is complete. Everyone be good to each other. Have a good night.